Please, I just got 2 kills.
Oh, Bo, that was honestly.
I know.
So
She kicked my ass. She kicked my ass.
No. Oh,
No, the meatball. No.
that's a good one.
Brad, I called you like so bad.
Oh, Jesus. I got a kill?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a sleeper agent.
Did you say step in the jump rat trap?
Don't step in the trap.
Oh my god, Mercy was so close.
Going in, boys.
Oh, Mercy above.
Whoa. Do the composite.
Oh my god!
No, turn right, please. Come on.
Oh my god, get Reaper behind, please. Turn around, Puggy. Swing. Swing. No swing. Good. There we go.
No, he stood up.
Is he gonna go get the save? I hope he goes get the save. Damage this gen rather than later. Yeah, I need to relaunch my gen. I don't know what's going on. Because I don't have any other juicy.
Yeah.
I'll just back up though. I can't believe he did that. Oh, that was my obsession.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, dude. They're gonna pick up Sharper Boy. I don't think I'm playing this Meg did heal up. Not sure why he just stood there. He really just took it like a man. Alright, Nadia already healed. I will do this because I'll stay undetected. Range! I was gonna say if that didn't hit, I was about to be very upset. I'm gonna keep this cute because I can kind of ahead at the moment. She tapped it. Keep it again. Oh, does the cage not count as a to the entity? Oh, hatch points. That's so sad. She was right next to hatch. No. I'm sorry, I'm just a little preoccupied. I mean, who's been hooked here? Here. You? Do I look like a pussy? I got this. Bang! Oh no, wait, that was you. Not Bang. Alright. Schmello. Schmello. Hey Alta, hey Boiler. Thanks for popping in, guys. I'm struggling with I'm trying a new technique, new format, shamelessly plugging my stream in other people's Discord servers who allow it, to be clear. But I'm trying a different format and seeing if it gets a little more attention. I won't bother there. But anyway, how are you guys doing tonight? What's new? Tell me how your day was. Tell me how your couple days have been. I saw you guys a couple nights ago. I have Toby Ghost up. Can you guys see where my peepos are? You guys cannot see my peepos. Oh my god, 9. What's up, dude? Axial? Talon? Oh, wait. Is that a Pokemon? Medieval music theory. I can see your peepos. Well, I just turned on my peepos. So good to hear. Move all this junk over. No idea, apparently. You must have been gifted a sub. Alright, let's see. Arbiter. Where's Arbiter? Yeah. Yoink. 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 Oh my god. 9. You want in? Oh my god, you want in?
Yeah.
Oh, you're loud.
No.
Just kidding. It might be. It might just be me. Talk some more?
Hey.
How, a little more than that.
No, I don't feel like it.
You are loud. Is your mic far away?
No. Is it? Hold on, maybe
the opposite. I feel like you're clipping a little bit. I think your gain is high. I think you turned your gain up accidentally. I think that's why you're both loud and I'm like hearing more of the room.
How about this? Is this better?
What is that?
That's better. Oh, there he is.
Oh.
Yo,
Are you
Nine's here.
bad at looping? Arbiter,
No,
you're not
good.
even online, bro.
I'm good at looping.
You're not even online.
Hold on.
You just weren't in the constraint. Yeah, no. I meant yeah, no, exactly.
Oh,
when
dude,
I look
my controller's connected.
You won't see my peepers.
I was in a bot match.
Glad you can see my peepers, Alto. Is there open?
How dare you, Alto? You never speak that way to Buttspot. You son of a bitch.
Why'd you go a little Italian for that? You son of a bitch. Anyway, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing all right.
How are my boys? My beautiful.
Ready to win.
I don't believe you.
Came to the wrong place.
Oh, trust me, I know. It took us 2 hours before we could drink the other night.
Yeah, when I was playing. Oh, jeez. When I was streaming last. That's what I meant. Sorry. You were obviously playing too. You just said that.
All I know is I'm just doing.
All I know is you aren't joining. There you go. Oh, you were. Fuck, it was 9.
What are you talking about? I was in the
All
line.
right, let's go. Let's go.
Our head brain has already started.
I may be a little gummied up.
Let's
How
fucking
much got me
go.
up? How much got me up?
Just a little. I've had like 3 throughout the day.
I'm getting flashbacks to Newberry Street 2.
I was fine. I'm less than that right now. So anyway, you guys come here often. I'm still running that like Soul Survivor build, by the way, Arbiter.
Oh, the like I
Hope,
fuck you guys.
Left
I'm gonna
Behind.
escape by myself.
Yeah, the fuck all yous guys, I'ma escape alone. That one. I feel like there's a better way to do this.
Reverse psychology name works, and the killer doesn't go for me. That's my hope.
Reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Bro, you don't even understand regular psychology.
No, that's why I'm hoping it works.
I'm looking up a solo getaway build. Because this, I feel like this can get improved on. Oh, these might
You
be
should
too old for some of the.
definitely bring
perk
smash
moves.
hit, so that way when you stun them, you run away.
So when I smash the killer,
Yeah.
we smash in front of everyone.
Oh, whoa, we're still looping.
Never mind.
Hold
I
on.
might have to play another build. Hi, Quinn. You either have to go really quickly or more
Really
realistically,
making it
you get
easy
to
for the killer,
choose.
I see.
You choose the next. I'm not confident I can switch these perks in time. So
Oh no.
next
Your
match.
connection just popped up.
Wait, your connection's dog doo-doo right
No,
now.
wait. What? Oh, stream.
It's poopy doo doo, dude.
Wait, what's up?
In DBD, it said that your connection was crap.
Oh, you had me
The red
scared. I
red
thought
bar.
stream disconnected. I thought my game disconnected. No, it was just the little indicator.
I mean, that's also possible.
Oh, okay. It was the little indicator.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, I was actually looking into. I'll keep this.
Aren't you hardwired in? Like,
Yeah, I do go through a VPN though. But that's what I was about to say. Is I was looking into this alternate sort of firewall program where instead of a regular VPN, it basically has like each application goes to a different server. And so then theoretically I could let stuff like my games through that.
This is kind of unrelated, but also related. A friend of mine just got her first gaming PC, and she got it from Best Buy. And Best Buy forced her to put on the shitty antivirus on her computer,
Bruh.
and it was blocking her. It was blocking DBD from opening.
Bruh. Well, it may have been the easy anti-cheat. Honestly,
lost me.
It may have been the easy anti-cheat not liking the antivirus, to be honest with you.
Probably.
What antivirus is it?
I don't know. It's one
Probably
that I
McAfee.
never- No,
It's
it
always-
wasn't McAfee.
McAfee itself being a virus is ironic.
Hello,
It was
Lane.
like
Long time no see.
Trent something. I don't know.
Just kidding. That's what we call a bit in the industry.
There's probably like some employee at Best Buy had developed his own antivirus and he was making everyone use it.
Yeah, I mean, my take is as long as you're not doing anything weird, Windows Defender should be fine. As long as you turn on all the
It's
security
Myers.
features.
It's a stock.
Otherwise, like I use ESET antivirus, not sponsored. But just the antivirus, not like the whole security suite.
Yeah, that's what we ended up telling her is like Windows Defender is fine. So just get rid
Yeah,
of it.
and if you really want something, get ESET antivirus. It's literally like $50 for a whole year. So less than $5 a month.
I feel like this guy's staring at my cheeks.
Like, he was staring at me.
I was gonna say I see the Myers by Shaq. Oh, yeah, he's stalking me. That was a nice try,
Sucking
Quinn.
your juices.
But I knew that wasn't a Discord call. I have streamer mode on. I may have ran into him, but I don't think he noticed. Oh shit,
Right
he
into
noticed.
his warm embrace.
Yeah, man.
I'm supposed to do
Oh,
cooperative
this tweet is
actions,
also
by the way,
here.
for my challenge.
I'm so afraid of where he went.
He's by me at check.
Oh, okay.
Did you fully juice him, by the way? Because I feel like he's gonna tier 3.
No, I didn't. Yes, sir. This is Bo Gaming.
Oh, he's definitely like whoever he finds next.
Oh, 100%. It might be Tombstone Shard.
Is getting it. Is instantly getting it. So.
Oh, it's this tweet. It's gonna be the random tweet. Oh no.
Shout out to Coco Loco.
Oh yeah, I didn't explain the stream title. So Arbiter pointed out to me that the "What's up" Ghostface mask is in the Rift, and I need it.
What tier level are you right now?
I'm level
Oh my God,
27. Oh no, we're already
Yo,
fucked.
He has infinite tier.
Yeah, no, we're boned.
There's
This is
no
it.
way.
I'm going to the other side of the map.
Oh, you guys get away from me.
What the dog
I'm
doing?
peacefully
Yeah,
doing gens. No,
What the
get out of
dog
here.
doing?
Oh, he is ready.
I don't want
to
any
go.
Vittorio over here.
Idle Death Gamble. Long time no see. Yeah, so I'm level, or like, I think it's called level 27 in the Rift, and you need level 69.
Yep, that's...
I'm hoping...
It's tier 70, I think.
I'm hoping... Oh, is it tier 70? I thought it was...
Yeah.
But, I'm hoping he has Tombstone or Tombstone Shard, rather than Infinite.
I hope he has neither, because I'm the one being chased.
Oh, well, if he has Tombstone or Tombstone Shard, you can just hop in a locker. But I would do that until we can confirm he does not have Tombstone. You should run into a locker and let him grab
I think
you.
we can confirm he doesn't have Tombstone.
Well, was it a lunge or was it a short?
I have no idea.
Because if he clearly lunges, then we know. Well, we don't know. But if it's seems like a short M1, then that confirms it
I
wasn't.
like that everyone's on a gen. I like that. That makes me feel better.
Yeah. No. I mean,
on me.
this we might actually get this.
I mean, if
Oh,
you
Ghost.
and Coco Loco finish the gen, then we're good.
No.
Nice name, by
He's
the way,
so
man.
fast at tier 3.
I'm assuming he's infinite.
Oh, it only works in Chromium.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is already
dude.
passed.
I'm gonna finish this last gen. Give me like 5 seconds. I use Firefox, Daily Drive Firefox, but I do keep, well, I use LibreWolf.
Well, the two people bad at looping got hooked, so that makes sense.
Well, Opera and Edge are based on Chromium, just like Google Chrome is.
You got hooked first, though, so I feel like we should trade names.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait.
It's gonna be a real
Wait.
awkward.
Whoa, wait. Whoa. When did this happen? Why did this happen? This is bad. Oh shit. Okay, well, I'm gonna hide and I have to get a save.
Saved, but
This is really bad. I need him to leave the Dweet. He's gonna check the doors. I need him to go back to one of you guys and I can unhook the Dwight. I'm honestly really stressed.
I don't think he's gonna leave the doors because there's no.
I'm
point
gonna
for him
run. I can't believe this worked. Okay, wait. Is this Arbiter? Arbiter, is this you?
The other one.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
to. Yeah, if you make this, it's gonna be.
I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Believe. Manifest.
Oh my god,
I
he's
got you.
right there.
That's fine. This is fine. This is fine.
You know,
I'm vaulting this. He's breaking the door.
I think the rando is prepping the door. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh
he's
shit,
just
he
letting
found
it
me.
happen.
He found me.
He's
He
just
found
letting
me.
it happen.
What? Oh, dude, that was my connection. Oh, dude, I'm
Alright, I
like
think we're
3
good to
feet from
go.
the window. He's
Yeah,
going to the
I don't
door.
think
He's
there's
going to the door.
any point
He wants to
random-
slug everyone. Yeah, no, I got
There's no
you.
point in healing.
Lane.
Yes.
My bad.
I'm gonna see if the other gate is prepped. Because I'll do
I don't know why
that.
Turbo turns on every time I open your stream.
Is he
So
gonna
me
pick
having it
you
set
up? What's
to
he doing?
don't ask me again. Maybe
Oh, no,
it's
he's just over here.
you
Alright,
use
stop the
Brave,
gate
right?
open.
So maybe it's
Slap the gate
Brave
open.
blocking
I'm
third-party
going for Bo.
cookies.
He's on me, I think.
Honestly, you guys can leave me.
I've already committed.
Oh, okay. No, that's good. I'll crawl towards you. Is only that one gate open?
Right
But yeah,
now,
Rack.
yes.
Maybe disable the Brave shield for
Think he saw
Twitch.tv
me?
because it's probably a cross-site cookie.
I think I made
You didn't pick me up. 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 You didn't finish healing me.
It's the gate by Shack.
Yeah, I see the aura. Bro, I can't believe you did that. And I accidentally had my foot
I
on
was-
mute talking to chat.
I was watching your stream. I don't know.
Oh shit. Okay. No. Split up. That's never gonna. Oh, he whiffed? He sucks? Oh, he sucks? Please tell me I make it to something.
If you,
I can't believe this
I'm gonna
worked.
try-
Oh my god, I'm out. I'm
gonna
out.
Try and prep the
No,
other
I'm out.
gate.
I'm out.
You're out?
I'm gonna be. Okay, I'm
and
at
you,
Shack.
you didn't have any faith in the snowman. Which door is he? Oh, okay, I see.
I'm opening the other one though, so you can go to that one.
Oh,
I'm heading
perfect.
to the
I'm
other
coming to the other one. Dude, that was perfect.
This.
Oh
I
my,
don't know
you scared
how-
me.
How he did that, but okay.
Heal, heal. Heal tickles.
Oops.
Oh, well, we're both out now. But Rack, let me know if that makes sense or
So
not.
the
Rack
difference is
attack.
it took one match for all of us to escape tonight.
Okay,
All right.
that was
That's
cannon,
shots for each
clean cannon match.
Three of us spent half the game on a hook, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so stressed. I saved the day. That's it. Stream's over.
I didn't
Great
finish a
match.
single run.
I think that's the high note we end on. We start and end on that.
That was it for the night. We're done.
I feel like that's how all Myers matches go, though. They're always super fast. You either die or you.
I was gonna say it's like you either get absolutely destroyed or you destroy him.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't even notice there's winter gens.
Wait, so
I
need
need to
see
do
this.
cooperative actions. That is my
I'm
challenge.
gonna cooperate with you in a minute.
I'm fine with that. I need that too.
You know what? This is a reasonable expectation.
Whoa, there's Yui shit in the rift.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
I just
Yeah.
got one.
Oh, what tier did you say you were?
27.
27?
27.
27.
In the Rift, I'm tier 27.
That's I don't think you're getting that Ghostface cosmetic.
But don't I get a bunch of levels if I...
I mean, I think you can pay. I think $1 you can it's a level $1.
$1 a tier?
Yeah.
Scam.
I'm
Okay.
tier 57.
Yeah, man, I need to start making YouTube vids. You're right. Ready up.
I'm looking at the stuff.
Alright, well now I'm looking at stuff.
Like, I should
I'm
look at
Dirty
stuff now.
Dan. No, I'm Dirty Dan.
Oh, I see the.
Oh, what's up?
What's that?
What's up?
It's the only Rift cosmetic I've ever actually wanted, so it's like I need it.
I don't want the Yui cosmetics. Shit, I'm gonna have to play this game.
Guess what? You have 6 days.
How long
You
does
have
it
6
normally
days.
take for the rift?
The Rift is usually like 80 days.
Oh,
I mean, you can pay to win and get everything.
hey, I'm not that dedicated.
Left Behind's a really fun perk, but I think I'm
I
gonna
might
take
have
a
to pay to win as well, but I'm a
Adrenaline.
lot closer.
Don't the rift cosmetics sometimes show up in the featured stuff anyways?
Yeah, like a year later. I guess if
Can
you
we
got
actually ready up
patience.
now?
I don't know.
Yes.
You ready up?
I am. Always have been.
Huge.
Smoke cannabis, make your responsible choices. Do I have plans tomorrow already? No,
Also,
not really.
21k year chards. Should spend them.
I think the only thing I was
Just
considering
save it
tomorrow
for,
was
do you have all the killers?
maybe
and
going
survivors?
to Macro
From
Center
Center.
with Arbiter,
I don't really play killers.
which you
though.
could tag along with,
Then just
or we can
buy all the
just hang
survivors you don't have.
And I only play Yui.
Self-care. No, you didn't
At least get the
actually
perks.
redeem points. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it this once, because you got me, because you tricked me. But next time, even if you trick me, I'm not gonna reward you.
We should have a match where we all just run head on and go into lockers next to each other.
Yeah.
We find like the triple
Actually,
lockers.
okay. So
That's just gonna make the killer DC.
No, 2 of us run head on. The third person runs by the lockers that they're in. So that
Oh
way
my
they can-
god, it's roulette. It's locker
Yeah,
roulette.
We
Oh,
just
dude.
change positions every time. We all run quick and quiet. My favorite is running DS and head on. So you hit them with head on, get back in the locker with DS still charged, and then you hit them again.
But just insult to injury right there.
It feels amazing though.
You ever been on the other end?
Yes.
I don't know, that makes it better or worse. You're like, You have to put it back out in the world, the suffering you experienced. Toast, my Christmas was...
Made sure
was
that
good.
I changed my name so it was accurate this time.
It was, not worstest.
Worcerer.
Worcester.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, Worcestershire.
But yeah, I had like a small Christmas. It was good. Nothing crazy. Rack gave me a really thoughtful gift. Sorry if you guys hear me munching. I have some almonds.
All right, team. The plan is to
Well, how was
win.
your Christmas, Toast?
Any questions?
Repite, por favor?
No. The answer is always no.
And 9, you know what that means.
Huh?
You said the answer is always no, and you know what that means.
No.
Yeah, right, exactly. No means no.
No.
And then 9 just mutes again. It's like, yeah, man.
I'm dealing with a Winston right now.
Night, Alto. Gamers, please say goodnight.
I'd
to
tell you
Alto.
guys about the kitten that we
No.
had. So a couple of weeks ago, I was up at Hayden and I were getting ready for work, and we were just. I had just gotten out of the shower and I was hearing this meowing, and I was like, "Oh my god, Winston's freaking out about something. I don't know." And so I walk out of the shower, and I see Winston on the couch. Which, for context, Winston's my cat. And he's just sleeping, and I still hear the meowing, and I look at Hayden, I'm like, "Yo, do you hear that?" He's like, "Yeah." And we looked around the house, like we couldn't find anything outside. We didn't hear it outside until we opened up the door to our basement, and out flies this calico kitten.
Oh,
And
kept
it was
it,
like,
right?
no, we took care of it.
wrong answer. It's a doctor.
Yo, your favorite.
But
Yeah, I'm
we
already
took
dead.
care of it for a couple days because it was super malnourished, and it had a flea collar on, which is the weirdest thing. So we're assuming it either got lost or it got dropped off. But she's doing good now. Her name is Holly, and she's at a shelter.
That's good.
You should have adopted it. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, I can't tell if Winston was relieved or was sad that she was gone because he's been real clingy since she left.
Oh,
This is a bit awkward because we're all right here.
They have
But,
Hunter's Lullaby. What's the
Toast,
killer?
what kind of piano?
It's a doctor.
Oh, Doctor.
Probably also.
Bro,
has
he's on
overcharge.
me again.
Why are you
Don't worry about it.
expose or you
Don't worry
saying
about it.
where you can't heal? Are you running no mither? What
Yesn't?
this is? Yesn't. The answer is always no. You're supposed to say no.
Aw, dude, we're insane. Well, everyone except for Worcester at looping.
Yeah.
Okay,
Does
I'm
this
hiding from
killer
an
have
enemy.
ruin? Does the
Oh
killer
my
have
goodness,
ruin?
hello Mary
What
with
is
the
that?
little keyboard cat. A very gay
They
keyboard
have
cat. I love
Hunter's
that for them.
Lullaby.
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
No
I'm,
rune.
I'm okay with this build, Quinn. No build goes unplayed. Yada yada yada.
These have been the most tame matches for me. I've just been able to sit my happy self down at a generator and do it to completion twice
And
now.
you can say ass on my stream.
Oh,
It's fine.
fuck. She has Merciless Storm.
By the
I was
way,
about
Rack
to say
said
I just got hit by that. but
Rack
I-
said
I
hello
was-
to you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Back.
I'm being chased.
Rack has DVD and definitely wants to play it. I know.
I think Rack might actually join.
That's Pog.
I feel like he was asking about it.
I mean, Rack has that sick gaming PC now. So.
Oh my goodness. Hello, friendly. How's your night going? You wanna play some DVD? Yeah, that's true. Rack now has a 3080 and a 5800X. Wait, I was in tier 3, then I lost it.
No, you're still in tier 3.
No, I
because
just got it back, which is how I realized I lost it. What?
You guys
Oh,
have
he has that add-on that makes his thing into like a.
What in a what?
Isn't there an add-on
Oh,
that
see?
makes him?
See, I just lost tier 3
Yeah,
on it,
why
too.
are you losing tier?
I lost tier 3 madness. I'm back to tier 2.
I'm-
Or no, I'm in tier 1. No, maybe 2.
He's entering main building.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leon kind of goofed the skill check over here. Alright, I guess I'm just gonna save now.
I played myself.
Going for it. Yeah, get out of here, Leon. This is my save.
I wish there was proximity chat in this game.
I'm still in main.
Oh, he's running the chess piece, that's cool.
Yeah, but it's the king, not the queen, I think. So the queen is the one where everyone gets static and they can give each other madness. I think the king does something different. Because again, I keep
He's over.
losing madness 3 on its own. No, you didn't. Honestly, this is a good match so
Oh,
far.
this is awkward.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
shit!
Now you're
Oh
bodyguard.
my god!
Oh my god!
Oh, that was a
pallet?
fake pallet. I'm taking that. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Do you guys have any New Year's plans? Toast. Mine fell through, but I might have some other.
Was that unironically
some plans.
the JoJo's reference?
Yeah, that's Joseph. You'll see it. Joseph goes, "Oh my god," and he puts his hands to his face.
Yes.
Yes. Wait, Arbiter, you should know that reference. That's in
Well,
part
it
3.
sounded familiar, but that
Yeah,
I
that's
watched it
part
for, like, a
3.
long
You
time
just
ago.
finished part 3.
Yeah, but that was a while ago. It took me like 3 months to watch part 3.
No, it
that's
didn't.
why
No,
they call
you
it part
cruised through it, dude. You finished part 2, and then you just zipped through part 3 in like a month.
I did not zip through part 3.
You really did. You've been watching a lot
kind
lately.
I'm kind of zipping through part 4 though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. M-Boy Hooters is trending. Let's go.
I
Nice,
actually
Mary.
almost got duped. by
Follow
one of
me
these
real.
doubles.
I'm high as fuck. I can join, but it's up to you.
Like,
Maybe
I've done
not,
one check.
Rack.
This is
I
a
love
big
you,
drop.
but fanboy call. Toast chill. Oh my
Can you
gosh,
still make
friendly.
sure they're not
Thanks for
fake
the
pallets
follow,
by
dude.
running into the pallet?
I don't know how I missed that.
If you run
I
next
definitely
to
heard
it,
the
it'll
Renaissance
disappear.
music. Bro, my dome's coming for you. Oh no, you're good, dude. Even though we like met recently and we're playing, I didn't ever expect to follow back. I don't take it personally. Rack is high as fuck, so I told him maybe another night.
I mean, that could just make it more.
You're not
intense.
bringing him down here, are you?
Maybe.
I'm gonna heal you.
Oh, hi, Leon. Is he still here? Where is he?
Well, I just fast faulted that behind you, so
I'm tier 3.
free Rack.
I can't tell. I can't hear shit.
You can be fun. That's not the problem. I just don't think any of us are gonna enjoy
Just the random, we
DBD
don't care about him.
because you're
So
very
sad.
new to DBD, and that's fine. I still love you, and I love that you're willing to play with us even though you're new to it. But you high playing DBD, I feel like you're just gonna get mad or sad or both. No, Rack, you're funnier than me. Like no meme. Vectorins are rerunning. This is discrimination against the cannabis and clip. Mary, I'm gummied up right now. I got a little bit of gummy in me.
Leon, where are you
That's
going?
like
Why are you running?
oh. Gatekeeping DVD. More Rack
Okay,
strips.
Huntress Lullaby is getting annoying now.
No,
Oh,
I'm-
fuck me.
Are you calling me fat, Mary? What the fuck? I didn't expect that sort of behavior from you. Rack literally said, quote, I'm high as fuck. It's up to you. And I said, okay, I'll catch you another night then. How is this on me? How is this on me? Oh, I'm dead. I'm very dead. Yeah. Big dead. No basement in main though. Got up and walked into the other room for, hold on, I gotta wiggle before I
Man, we are really cranking out these gens, huh?
Hey, I was close. Main building. Finish main building, basement. It's really close and he didn't kick it.
He's gonna kick it though.
No. He's gonna leave it be. He's not gonna go back. He's going back. He's there. Yep.
He's gonna run into main building. This is so obvious.
Walked in the other room for a sec. Didn't hear your complaints about me when I'm
Oh
me one
my
high.
god, I missed the
Alternative
merciless
view.
storm skill check again.
What?
Oh, freak out.
No,
if you
Rack.
want.
It's okay. I'll get you another night. You literally said it was my choice. I was waiting for you to heal me, and then I
gotta
remembered.
think about myself real quick.
You gotta. I gotta really ponder for a moment. Fuck, Mary. You're right. I didn't expect those nuts
9. We gotta change names again.
from you. I don't want to talk about it. Okay.
Did you just get?
I don't want to talk about it.
Are you dead? Yeah, you're dead.
I'm big dead, but I can also get up if he
Okay, Huntress Lullaby is at maximum.
Okay, big
now.
dead. Dude, Bo, I went to the science center yesterday with the girl I've been talking to, and we took edibles before we went to. Dude, I was gonna go to the aquarium, but it was sold out. There was too many people. He said he literally hates you. He hopes your hot food is always cold. Your cold food is always hot. Joke's on you. I'm okay with that. I'm a textural eater. Chad is writing, chanting for Rack to join. I thought this was a democracy. Oh, just because I'm liberal, you think I'm a Democrat? SMH my head. Hog, always fun to hear the homies have fun. Yeah, boy, that is Hog, of course. I was so goofy because I caused her to laugh so hard that she... No!
So, Bo, welcome to being dead.
Hey, long time no see. It's dictatorship and Bo is the... Hey, whoa! Bo is the... I'm the dick? You should have called me the DLC. I feel like that would have been funnier. It's a dictatorship, and this is the add-on pack you get for... I'm the free DLC. I'm not the paid DLC. I'm functional, but not as fun. Like, you can't say that it's better than nothing, but it's not great.
It's a DLC that everyone buys only for the cosmetics.
Barry, what's gaslighting? Does that make me the tater? Oh, Rack's asking because I'm the dick, he's the tater. It's like tomato without the tuh.
I was gonna say, why did you like break out a southern accent to say that?
Hey, what do you mean? This is just how I talk. He heard that. Does Windows show auras for fake palettes or no?
Yes.
Oh, so that
'Cause
sucks.
That's why I got confused when we ran to the other one earlier.
I made it up because I'm a crazy woman. That's correct. Yes, all women are crazy. And make sure they
It's
know.
basically been used.
Correct. Right, chat?
Oh my god, we got a gen done.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I went from the Joseph one to like the oh my god, you know?
What? Wait, your mic cut out. What'd you say?
Oh my god. Like the it's like a high I'll find the clip another time.
I think I know what you're talking about.
As a term, I agree.
It's like a little animated.
Wait, is trans including radical
He doesn't have
misogynist?
his, red stain now because I have it. So that
'Cause
kinda sucks.
That's I love that term now. It's funny as fuck. Can't confirm. Am whammon.
You're just playing on hard mode, dude. You got this.
Thanks, chat. Love you guys too. Except only.
I hate the doctor's laugh.
I'm done with this bit. Generally didn't hear what you said about me joining though. Did you say that you didn't want me to join because you think I don't want to have... Yeah, I mean, you can join if you really want to, Rack, but I'm worried you're not going to have fun. But I guess that's up for you to decide. I bring you content for YouTube vids. Bingus. Okay, boingus. We'll say I've been feeling a little blue because I get her Christmas stuff. We've both been busy, so I haven't got to give it to her. Oh, That's okay, Toast. You'll give it to her soon enough when you see her next. That's a reason to see her.
Can you just go after
Did you guys
Leon?
talk about getting each other gifts? I mean, I don't know how long you guys have been seeing each other. If it's like, you know, you've had the talk and are like formally dating, or
That was so long.
fuck it, we ball. Yeah. Clips. I'm gonna have to watch that later. Boiler. Can you vet that?
Is what? Are
You
you
got
kidding me?
it for a secret. Okay. Chat. You heard it here. No snitches. No leakers. Downloaded that clip. Rack. I don't want her to have to D's me or press it or feel the D's. Damn, that's, you know, I respect that in a man.
Which side is he on?
Probably need deleting. What do you, is it me out of context saying all women are crazy?
Tease me a present or feel the tea.
What's up?
I think that's the best butt spot I've ever seen.
Oh, D's me a present or feel the D's? Yeah. Dude, Toast got owned. What am I? The D's? You're the one who said it. True butt spot.
It's fucking popping off, but no.
D's.
I didn't know that spot was Dexter.
Wake up. Dude, we gotta do, wait, you know what would be hilarious? If I do TTS, but only for butt spot. So random messages that butt spot decides become TTS. It'll be like, but in my DDDs, you're the one who said it.
That would be amazing if you could set that up.
Butt spot always gets me. No, butt spot always gets Alto. Honestly, butt spot like bullies Alto, and I honestly wonder if there's a secret code.
Why am I getting BM on hook? What did I do?
You're the worst or looper.
You whacked me on hook?
It's just a pattern. He said GG. Somebody, oh, what's Boiler, do you mind DMing me that idea before I forget? Oh, he had both. King and Queen. All right, I think Rack's gonna join.
Oh.
Oh,
Let's
what's
go.
up, Toast? Okay, this is gonna be confusing. So from now on, Ghost like Toast, I'm gonna call you Toast, and Ghost in YouTube, I'm gonna call you Ghost. But what's up, dude? Thanks for popping in. Nice meeting you the other night.
Love the feel the D's. Jesus.
Toast said it senses me in a stream and absolutely decimates me always. Rack, are you... He did say he was high as fuck, so...
I mean, he can't be any worse than...
He can be the
Jimmy
worstiest.
Hey, there he is.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey.
hey. I'm in stream mode, so I didn't hear you join. DVD.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta.
All right now. You don't say.
Yeah.
Yo, this is the best team ever. We're gonna win every match.
Dude, easy. Not even fucking worried about it. This game's easy.
This game's easy, he says.
It's like playing Minecraft. They're the same. No different.
These are the questions we ponder in life. Minecraft and DVD.
Minecraft behavior, DVD sex mod when?
Okay,
Oh,
actually,
God.
I still have not played Dead by Roblox. I have Roblox.
Dude, I haven't either. You have to wait a week. You have to make an account and then wait a week.
That's why, because I remember like DVD servers were down, and I was like, let me play Dead by Roblox, and then it was like,
Yeah.
you gotta wait a week.
Are we gonna switch to Dead by Roblox? Because I have an account for it.
No. Because Rack can't.
If you,
Because you need to make an account and then try to play Dead by Roblox and then come back a week later.
Oh wait, does it need to be an account for Dead by Roblox?
It needs to be a Roblox account.
Okay, I have a Roblox account.
Do I have this installed?
oh, I don't have it installed.
Yeah, I don't.
No, me neither. I would have to install it.
Have you seen Noob 3's video?
Yes.
Headfire, it's so fucking good.
We
Don't
should
be
just
driving around
start
at work listening
stream
to
night.
stream.
One night will be Dead by Roblox.
We could
Oh,
drop
thanks,
by
man.
Roblox.
I appreciate that. I used to be pretty insecure about my voice. I used to have
Is that? Are we doing?
bifib uvula, which is like
Oh, wow, I
cleft
see the
lip, but
names
just in the
now.
very back of your soft palate. So I had 2 uvulas. Give me
Are
a
we
second.
doing drink by Deadlight or no?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just a little gummied up, and you're.
I can't. I have to work tomorrow.
Today
Cringe,
would have been a
cringe,
good day
cringe,
for
cringe.
Drink by Rob.
I woke up dying is cringe.
We're actually winning. So.
Today would have been a good day for drink by Roblox.
Yeah.
Dude, you're already gummied up. What are you? So ready up, boys. Let's go.
Oh, that's right. There's a button.
Big red
Easy.
button.
Told you this.
Yeah.
game.
Crazy.
Look, we're either gonna get a killer with super high MMR or super low MMR. There's no in between.
Also,
I'm
Quinn, you
super
a real
high,
one.
but I
Driving
don't know what
around
the
at work
MMR
listening to
is.
stream.
That's good enough.
Toast. Thanks,
ready
man.
to go.
You too.
Dude, all
Were
I
you the one
ever
that
shoot
played
for
Ready or
in
Not with
comedy
me
is
and
that
yeah,
slight
Toast, that was you,
exhale
me,
that Nine just
and Rack. Yeah,
you just
exactly.
hear him.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Huh?
You know I'm in the call, right?
Who the fuck are you?
You're not my dad.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh wow, I have a lot of blood points.
Oh wow, I have a lot of blood.
You're not gonna have a lot of blood after you die on Hook.
Is that a threat?
You should get rid of some of
Switches
your
over to
blood.
killer.
You should stop. Dude, oh my god, talk about intrusive thoughts. Can you imagine just like that's a lot of blood you have. You should get rid of some.
You should get...
No, and that's probably
What do you do?
I was gonna that's nine, that's work.
Nine
That's
shows
you
up to
talking
work and
to a
just
patient.
steals blood.
You're just like, you have plenty of blood in there. Let me have some. To test. Licks lips.
Yo, Nine
Yes, it's
keeps one
legal.
up
Why
to
did
me.
you ask?
Nine, I see you. I see you with
Dude, we
Nine.
gotta run it back. Dude, for sure, for sure. Honestly, Toast, you should join Rack, me, and my cousin Hyper. We're gonna play sometime.
All phlebotomists are secretly.
Rack, we gotta
vampires.
play Ready or Not with Toast and Hyper Year sometime soon. Maybe we can do that
Alright.
tomorrow. Ready to see what Hyper's doing.
Maybe.
But Toast is
Depends
saying
on
he
how
wants to
late.
run that back. Huh?
Hell yeah. Just depends on how late, because
Just popped
tomorrow
in, man.
night
Got
I
the
do
new-
have like
Good
to
to see
be.
you. Aw,
to bed
thanks for
'cause I-
popping in, dude. Love Ghost. I met him, I think last night, chilling in Friendly Introvert stream. Which, speaking of, let's shout out Friendly Introvert, new mutual streamer I met recently through Colvian.
Oh fuck! Oh fuck! No! No!
Oh no, she actually got a Discord call in that clip. Oh no, that was Quinn. Oh, it was behind the shadow player. Damn, I thought that was in the clip.
Cutscene played in the heat
Is
of
Boy,
that
what the hell?
was that a Genshin? That scares me. No. Oh, what the hell?
Boy, what the hell?
That boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
Have you guys seen the Mute
Yo, I got
Canyon
an
spoof
old
of that?
man in front of me.
Yeah, that's where I know it from. Because you showed it to me a long time ago.
Hey, I show a lot of people Meat Canyon. That's Arbiter. I showed Arbiter and I think Pongu at the time. Oh, it's Wesker and he's running over here. Rack, you gotta run. Rack, you gotta
It's
run.
not Rack, dude,
Rack,
it's
you
not-
gotta run. Rack. Don't make me cut you off, man. Don't make me cut you off from stream. Cut you off from
No,
DVD. Are you good? Did something cut out?
Yeah. No, I just didn't realize at first that was the killer, and then
Yeah, he does honestly look a lot like a survivor. He's a similar height.
Oh, he's also wearing the skin that kind of blends in with us.
The skin.
Yeah, so I was just kind of
It puts the lotion on its skin, Clarice.
So Rack, you're gonna see
Or it gets the
icons for
hose.
chest in white. You're gonna want to open that and spray yourself.
Dude, I'm still looping him at this same loop.
Oh, I see that. You're over there.
Dude,
in the
I
corner.
just keep weaving in and out. Like, okay, finally he's breaking that. Okay, I'm actually fucked now. Oh, no, I'm not.
Rack, are you just gonna leave your medkit?
Oh, I dropped it.
This is an intense
Yeah, to
looping
pick up
session,
the
dude.
med spray.
I was like scrambling for my headphones.
Did he just give up on you?
Usually get
Is he gonna
music.
DC? Oh, he's up here.
Oh, you're telling me the clip. Oh, usually
Oh, he
use a
has,
glider, break your fall,
he
but a
might
cutscene
have-
played.
He may have.
That's honestly hilarious. Those are my favorite kind of bugs. I'm sorry for your loss, though. Guys, don't worry, I'm in a snowman. Oh, who's this? Hey, dap me up. I saw you get in there. Or did it just spawn? Maybe this one just spawned. I thought I saw somebody get in this snowman. I dapped it up anyway. Oh, it was empty. All right, I'm just gonna... My bad. Who's looping in main?
Huh?
Oh, never mind. I found out. Who's Bruce Frost? Hey, Frosty's
Why-
nuts.
He picked me up and just immediately swung for no reason.
I see a snowman.
I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare.
It's just so
I'm
like
just a kid.
somber. A snowman in the distance in the fog.
I see you.
Yeah, whoever just messed up his skill check, he's going over to you.
Oh, that was Rack.
Yeah.
Nine, you gotta go help Rack.
Where's Rack?
You see his aura with Kindred.
Oh my god, he just got sent flying.
Yeah, that was a lot. Oh,
And
Oh,
even when
fuck.
I'm not.
I
Safe
can
butt
heal
spot?
myself, but-
No. Dude, butt spot is...
I broke his ankles and then he
You
broke
notice how he
my
says
spleen.
D's? That was me. I changed that. He's my child. My creation.
Yeah,
Anew.
you can always
didn't
get
feel
a good
good.
one.
Crushed my wiggle though.
I'm running the solo...
Let me
end
heal
game.
myself and you can do a gen.
I'm running the solo endgame build, by the way.
You might actually need it this match.
Yeah, well, so I swapped Left Behind for Adrenaline. That way, if I'm slugged and he closes hatch...
Oh, he's coming back.
That would imply that you're still the last survivor, though.
Correct.
like-
That's why it's called the solo endgame build.
Oh, why would he close the hatch if why would he slug you to close the hatch?
Oh my god.
Maybe I'm already injured, not slugged.
Don't. Oh
Well,
my
if you
god.
were
me,
a
I
robotic
don't know what I'm
program, the
doing.
world wouldn't be as safe.
That's
Nah, he left me and came for you.
I don't program for a reason. It's not because I don't like it. It's because I can't be trusted.
He's going back to maid.
No, he's not. Nah. Nah.
I literally see him over there.
Nah. No. He has no idea.
Nine, are you gonna get a spray? Or are you
There's
gonna-
no way that almost worked. That's actually crazy. Whoop, whoop. Dude, I got stuck on, dude, I'm actually kind of mad about this. So I was going up the stairs on main, and I was hugging the wall, and my head got stuck under a beam. But I'm in basement, in me.
Alright. That sounds like good.
Do you know what I mean, though?
Oh, Jesus.
Fat head moment.
Oh.
Mary really
That's
just be
not
fat
good.
shaming me tonight. SMH my head. I thought
Oh, you're gonna be on your own when I unhook you.
Am I?
Yeah.
Let's go. I mean, oh no. Sounds like a skill issue. Yeah.
Oh, he has pain res. Nice.
Oh, he found me again.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just tap this gen.
I cannot believe this. Oh, no way. Please tell me you saw that.
Nope.
I did.
Oh, baby. Dude, this is the same loop I fucked them up with earlier. It's just inverted. Oh, I'm dead. That's it. Whoop. Hey, I said I fucked him up with it earlier. I didn't say I was going to do it again. He obviously learned.
Yo, where is he hooking you?
Mary,
Oh, I see.
Over there.
are you just here to roast me?
In a place.
I think he has that scourge hook.
Yeah.
Try to
Pain
press
is.
head. Mary, I'll cry on stream.
I need to do cooperative actions, so you need to do this gen.
Yeah, okay, I'll do the gen with you. Hey, I got one stack of Soul Survivor.
Yeah, so actually you do gen faster than me.
Only a little bit. Not enough
If he
to...
comes over here, I'll take the hit for you.
It's fine, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, he definitely has tinkers.
Oh, there's the
Is he
game.
running over to us?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I see him. Bo? Oh, I tried.
You tried.
I failed at the body block.
Dude, I'm actually mad about this. He sought me out. You're gonna body block at the hook, right? You're gonna sabo the hook,
Yeah,
right?
The hook I'm
You're
next
gonna-
to, for sure.
You're trying to fill in Quinn's shoes. Mary, those are big shoes. Don't worry about putting your little feet.
All right, I'm looping him. I'm gonna loop him for 6 years.
You're doing
Arbiter.
great, sweaty.
How close is your gen? Let's see.
It's like halfway.
So I'm not necessarily like part of the culture of this game.
Yeah.
I know we joked about it earlier, but is that like just straight up tunneling?
What happened with me, or
Well, just like throughout the game, because it was like
so?
came and got me.
I
out,
want to
and then we joked
clarify.
about tunneling, but then you.
It
Like,
wasn't.
immediately
So I
crazy,
just-
because
I wanna
he did
preface-
hook me in between.
I want to preface this with, I think tunneling is a broad term, and tunneling isn't inherently toxic, but there are many times when people talk about it, it's because it is being explicitly toxic. So like, in this case, I'm not mad. I don't think it's toxic because he's doing what makes sense to progress the game, and he wasn't like being an absolute dick about it. Like, he wasn't explicitly going for the person that was unhooked. It's just he happened upon me, and like, you know, he committed to that chase, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Committed a crime.
It's not like
against
he
humanity.
waited for me to get unhooked and then completely ignored people just for me, even if he didn't see me. Like, he saw me, so it makes sense that he just skirted around Arbiter. Because he was like, oh, am I going to go for the
You
injured
need to
person?
Do this for another 30 seconds, and I'm done with the gen.
Blind him. Big spins.
Tell me.
I think it reconnected. Yeah, no, it figured itself out. It figured itself out.
9, you're gonna definitely rescue me, right?
I
Eh,
can try.
sorry, chat. We're good.
He's putting me in basement.
I don't know
so
what
it's
happened there.
probably
Figured itself out. Back, thanks.
Wow, okay.
Oh.
Not even gonna try.
Arbiter would be like,
try.
9, you're saving me, right? 9 be like, no, 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 no.
He's definitely not just above me.
Yeah, he let me.
Yeah, this is not.
Oh, okay. This is risky, but alright.
Zorak,
Yeah, what's going
welcome
on,
to being
man?
dead.
Yeah, I've been like this.
Damn. For real?
Okay, what a legend. Actually coming back. You go left, I go right.
9 gives me Kakyoin vibes. What do you mean by that? That's a little concerning. I don't want to spoil.
Kakyoin?
I don't want to spoil, but
Oh, he's on me. Can you get out?
Yeah, he's not even near me. You just leave. Just leave.
No, I went to the wrong gate,
I was gonna say, bro, you
and I was the one that opened it.
you opened the other gate. All right, Arbiter, you know what you gotta do. You know what you gotta do.
He saved me.
Go
so-
get him.
We
How
should
do you
have
run
both
to the wrong gate? How do you?
Oh my
For what it's
God,
worth, Toast, I agree.
Karut.
Like I
Karut,
I couldn't describe it, but I see what you mean. 07 in chat for Karut. What's up, my dude? Wait, wait, Toast,
How
what
did
does
he not
that
see me?
mean?
I don't know how he didn't see me, but okay.
It's the sunglasses. That's
So,
rough. That's
he's-
tough.
He's making this little.
You're gonna no, you're good. You're good. You're good. Oh,
Okay.
dude. Oh, he's turning.
It's happening. I'm committing. I'm fully committing at this point.
The snowman.
Lead me to the other gate. I don't know where the other gate is.
All right,
Oh my
may
God,
be
this
right
works.
here,
This
but-
works.
that's it.
This gate isn't. Oh, okay. For a second, I thought you forgot. That was the wrong gate. I don't think you have enough time, Arbiter. I don't think you have enough.
I'm going for it.
I don't think you have enough time.
Leave if you can. I'm trying to open the other gate.
Oh, you.
It's
I believe
gonna be
you're not.
really close if I make this.
Oh, I think you do, and I think he. You gotta bait him. You gotta bait him. He's not gonna.
Oh my God. Oh,
Get out, Arbiter.
Oh. Yes, yes, yes.
dude,
He's just
that
gonna.
could not have been any closer.
I think me going down might have saved you.
Karoots!
It literally
You're
hit
pregnant?
zero, and I still walked for like another second.
Oh my God, Karut is pregnant. That's so exciting. Congrats, Karut.
Oh my God! Congratulations, Karut.
Congrats.
That's so exciting.
No, Karut, I know you're not carrying the baby, but I think it's pretty normal to refer to the husband also having a baby. Like
Yeah,
you.
evidently this person's the number 69 Wesker of North America.
Nice. I accidentally left. You guys need to rejoin me. I did end up like DCing, unsurprisingly. We can be old man Joseph vibes. That's
When
you know,
do
I
you have an
appreciate
idea of when you guys are gonna be expecting to have the kid?
These grats. Karut, I hope you're excited too. I am in no position to have a baby. Okay. Oh, whole squad is here. Let's go. Oh,
Hell
that's
yeah.
close. That's soon to end of January.
That's hype. Congrats.
Rack, can you read what Toast said in my chat?
I hate what Toast just said.
Can you?
I'm opening it. Hold on.
Yeah, I need you to. I need you to read what Toast said.
Why is it people will rub a pregnant woman's belly and say congrats, but no one will go up to the man and tickle his balls and say good job? You know, I agree.
You're saying
That's
you,
it.
I've
Whole
never
statement.
heard
I agree.
braver words.
you want this to happen to you, is what you're saying.
I just want someone to tickle my balls sometimes.
Wait, Karut, do you mean it's strange for people to ask if you're trying to have a baby when, like, she's already pregnant? And, like, oh, well, are you guys, like, women is pregnant. You know this. You're like, well, are you trying to have a baby?
Are you?
Oh, in general. Yeah, I think that's general. Karut, yeah, that's y'all
It is a
fucking or
crazy
not.
question.
Yeah, there's some questions you just don't ask, no matter how curious you are. Even I know that. That's a crazy benchmark.
Oh, I almost said some shit.
What? About me?
Yeah. Hold on.
It's I leaked. Oh,
No.
You what?
I'm leaking.
Oh.
Are you DMing me?
I'm trying to remember.
I don't. This makes it worse.
The
The fact that you don't remember, you're just like, no, there's a thing. There's a bad thing relating to you. honestly worse. I can't. Oh, it's. I blocked it out. It was so traumatic. Just give me a minute.
Because I'm high, dude.
No, you're rack.
Oh fuck, dude.
Go back. Go back. The t-shirts that are like, I'm stuffed with a little turkey, and the others that say, I made the stuffing. I hate that. Funny shit
That sounds
ever.
like it would be posted on shirts / shirts that go hard. Or no, that one Twitter account, shirts that go hard.
Oh my god, Toast said that when his sister got pregnant, his dad still didn't want the boyfriend sharing a bed with her. It's like, bro, it's already going on, man.
Want to talk about that it's a nurse or?
No, I haven't faced nursing for whatever. And oh no, we faced one the other night. We had a guy
Did
who
we
needs to be
escape that
having a
nurse
kid
match?
for
I
me to
can't
tickle his
remember.
balls and say congrats. Oof.
Was that the one where all 4 of us escaped?
Monka lawsuit.
Coming over, Bo.
The nurse, you definitely finessed 9. I remember you finessing. I think I died because I was spectating you. So it was not a poor man. Wow, I would love to have more frames in my game. That would be incredible.
You come here often?
Hey. Nah. I don't.
Ooh, I got a flashy to light burn the nurse.
Flashbang out.
Certainly something that should be considered, yes.
Thanks for that chuckle.
My nurse is not good.
I don't know why, but it's even funnier that no, you were not supposed to do that. They were, hey, whoa, you guys are weird. No. Quinn can, if a man is consenting to that, maybe he likes that, and that's fine. Chat, don't tell them I just missed 2 skill checks.
Why are you screaming?
I'm
It's
sorry.
only a game.
Oh, whoa, that's what you meant by I'm sorry. That makes more sense now that you mentioned it. I was like, what? What do you, what?
Ooh, I fucked that up. I just saw a flashlight.
Don't worry about it.
Is she not on you anymore?
She, I duped her. That's why they call me the looping god.
Why
Ooh,
are
I
we
fucked
all over
this.
here?
Ball tickle.
How did you get?
Ball tickling the street.
How'd she do that?
Thanks, Arbiter.
Well, there's a
Ball
ball
tickling the
Three
street.
of us.
I will not tell them that you missed 2 skill checks. Thanks, Karut. You're a real one. The ball tickling.
She's
Congrats.
lame. I hid inside of a
Ball
snowman.
tickling to
and
electric.
She just killed me.
Ball tickling to electric.
So fun fact,
Boogaloo.
last year the snowman used to be an extra life, and then they...
Well, no, it gave you endurance. So if you weren't injured and you got hit, I thought it gave you endurance. No? Yes? Maybe? Or if you were injured, you got endurance? Or deep... No, I'm thinking deep wound. Sorry. I thought it was that... It was an endurance hit. That's my point.
Someone else.
Oh,
Ball tickling to electric boogaloo.
no, Boogadies.
Boog Diesel.
Boog Dieseloo. That's the only canon version.
let me pat you.
I'm giving her the business. I'm going into main. I think she's leaving. She's left me. She's going towards Shack, I think?
She's here!
Like Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, like the large black man who
So
plays
I have a glitch where
basketball.
it's doing, you know, the space, what's that fucking thing called, like the skill checks.
Yeah.
It has a skill check on my screen.
Oh, your game? I've
but
never
I'm
heard of this
just
glitch.
running around. Yeah, hold on.
Oh shit, I was tabbed out. Rack, I just read your message. Yeah, man, that's fine.
Well, it's too late to bring it up.
No,
now,
it's
but
too late to
yeah.
bring it up. No, it's... I've also asked that in Discord, so...
I just thought that was.
Yeah, no, it's
I sent
Toast. I will not be funding
I
that.
sent you a
sequel.
video on Snapchat, but it's loading. Oh hey.
Yeah, let's heal up.
I can get 9. She has no idea. See? She has no idea.
Oh, I
This
thought you were
is
saying I
so
had no
annoying.
idea.
She has no idea. She has an idea? She has a big idea.
Oh no. The ball tickling 3, the ball's snipped.
What?
I'm reading chat.
Wait, 9. Why did you go back in? You should have just left. You should have just ran away. You should have just ran away, and she wouldn't have known I was here. Oh man, because it seemed like I hopped in the locker, or you hopped in the locker and made the first noise. Dude, I cannot believe you.
Also, because of this glitch, I don't have to do skill checks while I'm doing a gen.
That's nice. That's
Wait, that's actually goated.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I'm like halfway through this.
She
gen
assumed
over
you
here.
went in the other locker.
I'm well aware.
Oh, she knows.
Keep her distracted and away from me.
Oh, I'm fucked. Somebody needs to come get 9.
I mean, you can let me die after what I just did to you. So
No. That was honestly you had DS, so it was fine.
I'm running over there.
Yeah, please. I'm trying to bring her away.
You gotta run further away, man.
I know. I'm trying to get her attention. I was worried she wasn't chasing me.
Victoria, my savior.
Well, I thought she already blinked twice.
Oh
Get
my
cooked,
god,
get
that's the
W.
funniest shit I've seen all day.
Yo, nice job. Wait, I have adrenaline. Why didn't I hop off her shoulder?
Because your adrenaline doesn't do that.
What? I thought it... What?
When you get unhooked, you'll be fully healed.
What? No, I thought it got you off the killer's shoulder.
That's literally not what it does.
No, this was old adrenaline, maybe. I swear to God. I swear to God. Adrenaline used to get you off the killer's shoulder. Can somebody look this up?
You're just crazy.
I have wake up, by the way. So, I did get the speed boost in the heal. Yes, I'm not surprised by that, but
It also won't let me use my med kit.
don't worry. Well, you're not injured,
You're
Rack.
fully healed anyway.
You're...
Oh,
Just keep her off me. Oh.
that could have something to do with it.
Oh, let's go. We're out, boys. Arbiter, you good?
Yeah, I'm
I told you this fucking game was easy. I don't know what you're worried about.
That's easy mode, man.
I hit the ground, didn't escape, then escaped. That was crazy.
That was close, man.
That was close.
Ghost, if you think about it, everyone is nuzlocking in that regard.
Well, we have 100% win rate, so.
Do all of us? No. I definitely died
Yeah.
in a match.
Because we didn't count last match. We just
Oh,
turned
right.
it
Which match?
Exactly.
Right.
What?
Who?
Huh?
That's crazy.
What should I do for food?
Taco Bell.
Papagenos.
Nobody else
Oh,
gets.
I was thinking-
Nobody
Where's the
else gets
Papagenos?
that joke. Oh, Bo, you want to explain that joke?
No, I don't think I do. That's just gonna be for us.
That's an us thing. All right. Here, I'll at least give chat the decency of knowing.
Boy, I swear to God, it
that
used to work that
Bo and I have an inside joke around the word.
Papagenos.
the
No,
words
specifically the
Papagenos.
Papagenos near where you live.
Yeah. Specifically
that one. That's my favorite pizza place. That's right by your
Also,
home.
unironically, I did get Taco Bell 2 days ago.
Baco
So I
Tell.
can't do that.
No, you can do
Yeah.
that. Why not?
Nah,
Why not again? Run it back.
because it
It was good the first time.
it was
It's good the
already,
second
like,
time.
2 days in a row.
Oh, you think you're?
I can't make it 3 days in a row.
Message you what I thought.
The human body can only handle so much Taco Bell.
You can only shit so much, dude. Damn, matchmaking time.
Right.
Held, huh?
Check the thing I wanted to say, but DM'd you instead.
That's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna screenshot that and tweet it.
No, I see. I thought you were gonna say something like, "I can't believe you'd say the N word," or just something like that.
Yeah, no,
Because that's not
Well,
it.
is-
Like I wouldn't.
no.
No,
There is definitely a hard ER though.
you're not helping me here.
he leans into it heavy.
Yeah, but I also only roll my R's. I can't say that on stream. That's I'm reusing a joke.
So
Anyway, here's Wonderwall. But hey, Kitty, sorry it took me so long to say hi back. Say the fact I have a good joke, but have to wait until I can type it. Human
Hey,
body
Bo,
can only
you
handle
wanna-
so many. Baltiglers 5. What happens to 4?
Buy me Taco Bell.
Are you asking me to buy you Baco Tell?
Yeah, it's
Because you're the second person to ask me to buy them food today. The first of which was a random person with a hospital wristband who was like, "You have $3?" And I was like, "What?" And they're like, "Do you have $3 so I can buy?" And I didn't hear them. And I was like, "No, I'm not comfortable giving you money." And then
their face,
and then they were like, "So you don't have it, or you don't want to give it to me?" I was like, "I'm not comfortable buying food for you." And they were like,
you're like, I'm out of here. I'm dipping.
"Okay." And then they walked off, and I'm like, "Okay."
It's latex hands or whatever. No, it's
Oh!
it's- yeah, it's skin
What the
face.
heck was
You heard me. That was my battle cry. I'm dead. Oh!
Oh, this is my loot, man.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Leatherface is
He
the name that I
he
was
knows you.
trying to
He knows
think
you.
of.
He knows you. He does not know me.
He knows me.
He knows you. He's chasing you.
I don't know who he is.
It's Leatherface.
No,
It's Pleather Boy.
he couldn't be. He couldn't be chasing me. It's impossible.
No. No, he came
Elastic
back,
Man.
Arbiter. No, he came back.
Get wrecked. He chased me for a
I'm
while.
so glad that didn't hit.
Damn,
Oh my god, Orca. Ooh, oh, that's a cute name.
my reaction
Thanks for,
time a little brokey tonight, boys.
Oh shit. Oh shit. I can't read that. Earlier.
I don't want to talk
The
about.
group I said,
Oh, you were the Wesker if you gave. Okay, I'll definitely read that. Chat, make sure I read that after. Woo! By the way, the Wesker from a couple matches ago popped in my chat, but I can't read the long message. Oh!
What do you take, like a paragraph?
Yeah, a small paragraph, yeah. Oh, he has knockout. Okay, I can fix chat now.
Can
Okay,
you
okay.
tell me where you are? Oh, you're right there. Nice.
Okay, I don't see you. We had a boxing match and I lost.
Oh, we got this kind of-
I think he's claiming, he's marked me. He wants the TTV. Okay, well, I'm gonna catch up with chat.
All right, let's just do the gens then.
The human body can only handle so many
I'm not
black
with
windows. Try knocking out the victor
Third
first.
or
I'm
halfway
impatient.
through this one.
Does that seem that the balls are 1 point?
I thought
We're
we
lost.
can't do
And yeah, Tickler 5, the balls were lost. Ball Tickler's 4, the Lost
He's
Chronicle.
going back to the hook.
No. Oh my god.
Ah?
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 Oh, he wants me.
Oh.
Oh, I'm dead. This is the end. He missed. He sucks. I'm not sure that one should have hit, but he's marking me. He's celebrating.
Sounds kind of wrong.
He's dancing.
Sounds kind of sus.
He's checking around. Rack, you keep having ping issues? I hope you're... Oh, he left me. I'm by the hook. I'm by
He
that
has
same hook.
ruin for
He
some
left me.
reason? I got you. He has ruin.
Oh, is he respecting DS?
That's what I have to... No, he like straight up just left.
Yeah, he's on me.
That's why hyped to the movie. It was never made. 4 doesn't
Hoping to
exist. Okay.
finish the
The doll
hook,
feeling
though.
Phantom Pain. Ooh, that sounds awful. 4Ds exist. I came here to tickle balls and chew gum a lot of gum. I came here to swallow kids and
It
fight
was
grandmas.
very
My
close.
grandma's dead. Quinn, what? Okay, so Orca. Sorry, I finally got your message. I was looking through your POV on Reverse Game. I made quite a few mistakes. Doesn't help how Big Red
Man, you and Rack are both having
Forest
connection issues.
is... I also put on Pain Res because as much as I hate slowdown,
See, and I'm not noticing any connection issues on my.
I seem to need it
It's all
70% of the
smooth
time.
for
Thanks
me.
for explaining about why
It's
I did
popping
what I...
up.
Oh! Oh, no, dude, that's... Yeah, thanks for coming in. I really
He's on me.
appreciate that, especially the
I'll get
follow.
the save. I'll get the save.
Yeah, look, even when people are being toxic
Oh, Lord,
intentionally,
this-
Okay, never mind.
I just move on,
He is
dude.
now on me.
it's a video game.
Never
Someone
mind.
else must
You know,
do
I'm
that.
here to have fun and move on. Half the time, like, I mean, this Bubba, you could say they're being toxic,
What
like
are your
revving the
thoughts, though?
chainsaw by me. But it's like, I would rather just say, hey, they're dancing. They're celebrating. You know, they said that I'm a really good looper
Oh,
and
crap.
they're proud that they got me.
Okay, never
Kind
mind.
of the point where we are having to ask the local community at our film location. Okay, Toast. Taylor, the Wesker player is adorable. Thanks, Quinn. Oh, you should have won your ones.
Thank you very much.
From a survivor perspective, slowdown is annoying, but
You're welcome.
it's being used so much because it isn't. If it isn't used, gens are done way too quick. Yeah,
Thank you,
totally.
Mr. Poop Ass.
I mean, Whisker got juiced. Shadowborn base kit. Thank you, Chad.
I appreciate
Call me
it.
too.
The most slowdown I ever have is Tinker. Excuse me. Yeah, I
Please,
love
Mr.
Tinker.
Pooh Ass was my father's name.
If it's the game, then there's no reason not to use. Yeah, slowdown.
Oh, I found Ruin.
Play DB for 5-ish. Oh, damn, OG, 5-ish years. Everyone has the right to do what they wish.
You guys
Okay.
at Shack.
Okay.
The game.
Happy
Yeah.
to
Good.
Yeah.
Based take from Orca. Okay, I'm officially up with chat. Okay, what'd I miss? I was catching up with chat.
Nothing.
Rack just stood at the
I heard
window
something
and
about
just
my
got whacked.
boobs, my dad's name. Is that what I heard?
Don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Exactly.
I hate those.
I diced his ass up with
You
the
missed 7 moments.
wiggles, though.
7 minutes with Booba. What do you? What?
Imagine where.
Well,
Imagine
very dicey
all the
situation.
people. Oh, good. Rack has Kindred.
Oh, I do?
Ah, he got pebbled! You bitch! Run, Rack!
Let me know if they're too loud, by the way, chat. Don't worry about chat.
Hey, after this,
Maybe
let's
more
do the den in
Shadowborn?
the temple basement.
Dude, forget
Oh, hey,
Shadowburn.
he's on
I
me
wish
again.
that they
That's
supported
crazy.
ultra wide. Okay, Kitty, you obviously don't use Twitter because that's not how hashtag works. Hashtags work. Oh, there's a hole here. I forgot.
You didn't know that?
No, I just didn't know it was there. I knew there was a hole. Bold,
I
but
fucked him up with a pallet
that just
twice.
bow
though.
and bold.
Keep doing that. Just keep doing it.
No, I'm saying no, Orca. Wait, no, you misunderstand. It's
I can't see skill
Oh,
checks.
I got
I'm saying
fucking
I wish they
caught on a
properly
corner.
supported ultra wide monitors,
so
and then you could
lame.
get more horizontal FOV. I don't know how hashtags
It was
work.
a
I
worthy
did it the way I wanted.
sacrifice.
No, you don't know how they work. Oh God, Orca.
So glad to
Please?
see the hashtag Bo is bald back.
Hey, whoa. She clearly doesn't know how hashtags work. That's just
hey,
hashtag bow, and then a statement, and it's a statement that I don't like and I disagree with, and so I'm gonna not. finish
That's
this
because
one.
you're kind of, sort of a little bitch. A little bit.
I'm my frames. I wish I had more. Man. Give me basic Shadowborn. I know you secretly work on
Hashtag Bo
behavior.
Stinky. Yeah, get fucked, nerd.
Aw, is it because I'm not
told you that
toxic
they were
that I
riding.
must work at behavior? Like not toxic towards
They
DVD,
wanted
the game
me here.
itself. I'm not bald, Kitty.
Get out of here, this is mine!
Alright. Oh, is there locker shenanigans? I'm not stinky. I'm good stinky. I smell nice.
Yeah,
I
how
had a
is-
friend in
how's
high
that,
school and she admitted to only hugging me because I
That
smell nice.
chainsaw guy going down there.
It's because your Swift is nice vibes. Doesn't Shadowborn shame? Well, one of my Swift doesn't know how to play, so. And then Arbiter and I have like 1,000 hours each. So we've been past the bell curve of toxic. You know, like you start off not toxic, you get very toxic around like 300 or 400 hours, and then you're back to chilling out. You're like, fuck, I've been here forever. It is what it is. Wait, what's wholesome? Oh, my friend hugging me because I smell nice? Yeah. She's a good friend. We're close. If only you went into the rabbit hole of my Steam bio. No, I know. I accidentally DC. I'm dead. It's all good.
Just go
You tried.
Straight. If you go straight 9.
I accidentally left the lobby. I'm so sorry. I wanted to give you a GG. But luckily, Arbiter read the number 69 Wesker NA. Wait, I think I can... If you want to share your Steam bio in a link, I'll show it on stream, if you don't mind. Or I want to look at it at least. Gotta hit him with the GGEZ, even though I died. I once said that to a guy who smelled like old dairy because it felt awkward. The Arcus TOS. Okay, I will not share it with stream. Thank you for the heads up. Stream doesn't see it by default anyway. Tasha Best girl, that's cute. Oh my goodness, wait. Hold on, where's the Steam web browser? I want to open this in the overlay for myself. Bonk, bonk, bonk. That artwork is a bit lewd. Threw away my 11k hours. Oh my god. That's a lot of hours, bro. Twitter. VTube Twitter? Stream? Oh, bro, I'm gonna check you out. Hold on. Let me copy page URL. I'm gonna hold on to this profile. I'll check you out later. Thanks for hanging so much. Thanks again for the follow. I do not want to.
Hey, who's not ready though?
No, wait, 9's not ready.
A bit.
I'm gonna dip.
Okay.
You
Hope
guys
everything's okay,
have-
dude. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, I just have other people that are asking me that want to hang out, and I kind of promised them that I'd hang out with them tonight.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
So have a good night, guys. Good luck with your games.
Yeah,
Night,
thanks.
nine.
Have a good one,
Chat, say goodnight to 9.
W, so that's good.
Yeah. See ya.
Oh, you have to ready up again, Rack. I don't know if you know that about
Right.
DVD, but every time somebody joins or leaves the party.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, and you know what?
Just like admin right now.
DVD should auto ready. You know how a lot of games auto queue?
Dude, I just float minute to minute.
I'm just like existing, bro. Like,
I'm just.
am
built
I
different.
even real? Like, I'm just part of the universe. I think we all are.
I'm just better.
That's a statement. I'm just
So,
built different.
Rock Hotel is temporarily closed.
That sounds about right.
Dash.
Good night, Kaku. Oof. That feels bad, man. 9 hates us. No, 9's busy. Busy boy, popular boy. Good night, Smelly Yui. Enjoyer who juiced me. I got robbed of that 1 paladin. Should be better at looping. Rack is very new to the game. Oh yeah, wait, guys. 9 is streaming tomorrow afternoon. Some Pokemon Platinum.
Oh man.
What does
Hey there, that was a
9
good
mean? I
move.
should be better at looping.
I don't know.
Dude, maybe I'm just blind. See,
I think he's
smooth
trying to
brain,
gas
guys.
you up,
The
saying
smoothest
that.
brain this side of the United
Oh,
States.
My
I wanna
name
make sure I'm
should be
faster than
better
this
at
here.
looping.
We are at,
Oh, Oh, literally the
That
username.
104 speed.
sense.
We definitely outspeed.
9 in the
Polygraph.
afternoon.
Whatever the next lyric is in that Panic song.
Speed is 7.
You're dating yourself with that song. Kitty, I live with my parents, and my mom will actually unplug the power before I stream till like 3 in the afternoon whenever 9 goes live.
Hey, Bo, I have a question for you.
No. Did that answer it?
Why do you...
Did that answer it, yes or no?
It did not, no.
Okay.
Why do you mute when you talk to
Yes.
chat?
It depends. Sometimes
Because like we can't interact with chat verbally
I know, unless you're reading it.
as easily.
No, I know. I was thinking about that earlier, actually.
Mute himself, you know?
I do. I think I've been doing it more recently. I guess I just don't want to like. It's more like if you guys are talking, I'll mute so I'm not interrupting you. But I am trying to like default to not being muted.
Yo, what is up, Rack? You ready to do this, Jen?
Yeah, are you near me?
No.
He's the
Definitely not.
Vittorio, the
Oh, hey. Is this you or no?
Italian, gray-haired
Oh.
old man, middle-aged man.
Why,
didn't get to say
why,
goodnight.
why did that other bill just get off the Jen?
Also, I used to bring
Oh my
so
God,
like
he's
Gucci
oh.
guilty and cigarettes, but I could.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going.
Sheesh.
Oh
He
my God,
literally
dude.
ignored me.
He totally ignored you.
That's hype.
Like to bring back.
Just keep
yellow.
I'm
going.
gonna hide in this locker. You won't know.
Oh, Pokemon stream thing. No, I spelled like
I'm very
Gucci guilty and
confused.
sadness. It's a dredge.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
wish you had
that
told me
just
that.
Fucking worked.
Nah, I like it to be a surprise.
Yeah, maybe if you paid more attention, we wouldn't need to tell you.
Maybe if you stopped talking, I could.
Maybe if you were just a
Maybe if you were just good,
better gamer.
it wouldn't matter.
Maybe if you had redeeming qualities.
Okay, that's a little.
That
one's tough. Feels bad, man.
Oh, hey, she saw me. That's cool. For me.
Bro,
You
the
know,
dredge
I think the
wants
dredge's
you.
pronouns are probably it.
Cool.
Well, I mean, do you not want to respect their pronouns, Rack? Because that's kind of cringe.
You literally just told me different pronouns than what you then used. You
Yeah,
said
but-
pronouns were it, and then you said they.
It's in front of me.
No, it's not.
You lock eye contact. No, it's not. The nine
He's
saying
not totally right in front of you.
it's Baco and Tell are the pronouns.
Damn, why my screen gets so dark?
That's a mechanic of Dredge called Nightfall. I don't know if you.
It'll
I feel like you haven't faced a Dredge
Ain't
yet,
it
so.
fucking daylight.
So Dredge
yet?
can teleport to lockers if you don't already see that part. So if you hear a locker open or rattle, the Dredge is there.
Is he really just
Kind of
Still.
swag. Thanks, Louis.
chilling over there?
Yeah, it's big chillin'. Big chillin'.
Rack, you're totally on a gen, right?
Oh my god.
Trying so hard to find one. It is so dark.
About to end.
I can't believe that worked.
Okay, cool. Now I have.
I love how that
Some
didn't
semblance
vault,
of
even though I
vision.
hit spacebar.
I love how you have DS.
Oh, hey. Hey. That really sucks, huh?
It was not big chillin'.
Rack, I think
Gotta
this
pay for
means
sunlight
you're better.
to see. For real. I just turned up the gamma.
What does?
Because you didn't die first.
You guys hear the music at all, by
Oh
the way?
yeah. Get owned, nerd. As he mutes.
I'm gonna mute you in a
He doesn't
minute.
want to. He doesn't want to talk to us now.
Sorry, yeah, I need to stop doing that. Good looping. Rack, you gotta
I
heal
love this
dogs behind you.
commentary.
Turn around, turn around.
Oh hey.
Yeah,
Dogs
that-
is
Good morning.
you heal him when you get a chance. What the dog?
That's
do?
my dog.
Thanks for the
Ooh.
lurk, kitty queen. Yo, speaking of streamer friends,
You got
Kitty
that
streams
dog,
sometimes. Kitty started streaming recently, last couple months, playing some, I think, Red Dead Online. It doesn't
I was
look
gonna
like she
say
has any
that.
clips though. But if you guys want to check her out, she's played Red Dead, and I think like a puzzle game, pretty cute puzzle game. Hopefully there's a VOD or something people can check out. Like my rat caught me off guard and my brain quickly split on,
that
oh, he's
sucks
cute,
a
rip
lot.
his heart out. People learn like me.
Wow, I quit.
Orca, you lost me a little bit, not gonna lie. You just quit on the skill checks.
Yeah. Well, on
Understandable.
that gen, I got like 2 or 3 wrong in a row. He's gonna fucking start walking over there.
I ran into the box before I hit the pallet, and that's awkward.
I don't remember either, Orca. It's all good. Rack will suffer. That's how we learn.
What was that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Hey, that was a good skill check. That was a great skill check.
Thanks.
So,
Hey guys, he's camping
I'm
me.
so hungry, dude.
just keep working on that gen, Rack.
This is thrilling.
Did you order any
gameplay.
food?
No.
Are you gonna order any food?
Yeah, I gotta figure out some Papagenos.
Papagenos. Hey, you want to order some for me?
I don't even know if I have enough money to cover me.
Sag. Oh, I owe you $5, right?
Do you?
Yeah, chess boxing. I never paid
Oh,
out. I
that's
didn't have
right.
the money at the time. I pulled a slime. Pulled a Ludwig. Thought I could double or nothing.
Well, and I pulled an Atrioc and
Pulled out.
didn't care.
Cringe. I don't
Talk
pull
about
out.
how he had
That's for
Rancor.
losers. That may have been too far.
I wasn't listening to you. What did you
Flag
say?
modding pick.
Oh,
Oh
you
shit,
muted.
that is
Cool.
super cool. That's cute. The
How he
close
feels
up
about you.
of the survivors. Chat, go check out the Discord. Also, Orca, thanks for joining the Discord. Happy to have you. I'm trying to get more.
It's so lame that
Why
Oh my
he
God.
was so-
Orca did a
uh,
Orca joined my
wanted to.
Discord and Rack. They did
that
a
guy.
Nick sip that I'm guessing is from the yard.
oh, ouchie, that hurt.
Ouchie bears. Oh no.
Ouchie bears. Hold on, let me wiggle the fuck out of myself real quick, and then I'll look at. What
I'm
you're
gonna
talking about,
change
so
to
I know what
another
you're
survivor.
talking about.
Hey yo,
Ah,
Lud buds.
wiggling my little
Yeah,
tootsies.
Rack and I watched the yard.
Don't even
We're
worry.
Lud buds. Wait, can we fundraise to buy him dinner?
Oh, that's
Um,
crazy that worked.
Twin, if you wanna, if you legitimately
I
want
wish
to
I had
dono to
known.
me to get him food, I will pass along the dono. Sorry, the tip. It's tipping. They're not donations, it's tips. You're tipping me for my service. It's for the lawyers out there. Means I will try my hardest for friendship now. Aw.
Oh, fug.
Oh no. For Dream This Man Classic. Thisman.org. Dogs really just said, nah, I'm out. Oh, no, he's healing. But yeah, Rack, we gotta fill a Ludbud in my chat. Orca uwu.
Okay, hold on, I'm working on it. Where am I looking? General?
And I meant in my actual chat, but yeah, general.
Nick Sip.
Nick Sip. Maybe I should join the pain train, and get the emotes and stuff.
Dude, come over. To the dark side.
I was like, what do you mean by that exactly? Come over
Also
what?
just
Come
find
where?
credit.
Just say when.
Their banner picture is literally the Yarb.
Oh, their Discord profile?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even notice. Shooting the slugger with the chussie.
Yo, and that's funny. It's like the Yard, but it's fucking DVD.
Damn, you got worried, bro? I totally missed that.
He had Rancor.
Damn, that's crazy. And you didn't notice?
Well, what happened was he downed me. The last gen then popped, and then I saw that I was exposed.
No, but you can. No offense to you. I'm not dissing you, but in my experience, I will notice Rancor because anytime a gen goes off, you see the killer's aura for a moment.
I was not paying attention to
Yeah,
that.
that's my point. Is if you pay attention, I usually catch that, and that's why I love hiding in a locker before the last gen goes off.
That's how I'm gonna end my night, so it's okay.
All right, thanks for joining, Arbiter.
Yeah. Talk to you guys later.
Talk to you soon. Chat, say goodnight to Arbiter. I don't think he's not in my chat, so we're just gonna say Arbiter.
Just sent Orca and a red man.
A red man.
Have you seen the any of the Yard emotes?
Wait 1 second. Orca, when you view profile, it shows not the server emote, it shows the actual profile emote. Chat. Gotcha. Thanks for changing that. Good night, Arby's. We gotta call him that now. Oh, new friend unlocked. Oh, shit. Were you saying something else, Rack?
Oh, I said I sent into General a red man.
Oh, red man. I saw that one, yeah. You need to ready up if you're ready. Oh, no, order food. No, you can wait. You can unready and order food, and I need to go pee.
That's cool. Oh,
yeah.
Now you made it weird. Now I have to vamp.
No, you don't have to vamp. I can do a BRB screen if that's better.
Do whatever you want. Just tell me first.
No, I'm gonna not tell you go to BRB screen and you're just vamping. You're like, damn, chats. These are really not hitting with chat. They're not responding. No, vamp while ordering food, I guess. Okay, bye. Love you.
Goodbye. Hey, what's going on, chat? I need to order some food. What do you guys think I should do for food, chat? Thinking. I don't even know. Don't even know what to do. VC so we can watch the Yard. I will be fired as a mod if I if I start pulling people in and we start watching the Yard on stream. What is open in can deliver? Mouse, they'll never know. Oh. So wait, so if you're in the Patreon, what do you typically watch of any of, or do you watch any of the exclusive stuff? Like I know they have. I watch the Advice show a lot. But then there's also decom commentaries, all that stuff. And Manic Bo went to the bathroom. Wish I could afford the Advice show. That's
Did
valid.
he say anything weird?
I
tell
probably
me.
shouldn't be spending as much money on the art as I am. But oh well.
I mean, DC's watch the yard. It's fine.
I
Oh,
watch
mouse.
the Advice
They'll
show
never
a lot.
know.
Trying to catch up.
Oh,
on
hey,
it.
Ant-Man. Yeah,
'Cause
sorry, I was
joined
getting
initially
I was getting
when they
water. I was
launched, but
Thanks for
then
popping
when they launched the
I
Patreon,
wish
but
you would
then
the advice show, the free one.
I ended up not being able to afford it for a while. So
What oh, you're talking about the premium?
what up? Yeah, the free one got talking about how a dad wasn't supportive of queers and slaps.
Oh, I'm gonna pull Orca in
to
here.
home as I'm trans.
Yard enjoyer.
Okay.
Yard enjoyer. Good profile. What's up?
What up?
You know, speaking of the yard and Ludwig
Enjoying.
and enjoying those things, both those things, good things, I have a swipe of a day that I still have yet to install because I'm missing a tube.
Oh, hey. Dude, you just got fucking owned. Hold on, look at Orca's profile.
What?
Read their profile.
Oh, I have streamer mode on. One sec.
That's
I don't
crazy
speak-
though. I didn't see.
What? I don't speak in VCs. That's fine.
Yeah, so you pulled them into the VC.
No, they wanted to listen
And
live.
then
They were waiting in the community
Yeah.
queue. She was. Sorry.
Yeah, I just got a DM. Tell that nerd to read my profile.
No, that's I had streamer mode on.
I'm
so I
sorry
couldn't
for
see.
tunneling you for pressure. No, you're fucking. Oh, I probably shouldn't have read that out loud. I'm sorry. I'm high. I did not tell you that. No, you're fucking good. I don't play this fucking game. So I'm just using words. Did you look at my prestige yet? What?
Somebody in my chat is also high as hell. Love that for you.
Yo, what's up, other high person?
Quinn, I think that works.
I'm zooted. You want to
Okay.
fight? What?
Social. There's.
I'm too
there's a
high
thing.
for this. What the fuck is happening right now?
I'm trying different links. Don't worry about it. None of these work. Okay, I'll manually type it.
What are you manually typing?
Don't worry about it.
This is
It's my
making
link
it so
tree.
much worse.
They worked. One of them worked. Oh wait,
Should I
dude,
order
send me a
food? No.
Cash App request for
These nuts
$5 or whatever.
really-
I'll do it. I got it.
No, it's fine.
No,
We'll
deal's a
just-
deal. I'm a man of my word.
I will literally lose that money in a different bet to you, and then you'll lose money to me, and it'll go back and forth.
Yeah, but at least if we do it this way, we can take. I'm putting chess boxing as the subject, and so we have that memory, you know.
Play
And I think that's
Mario
special.
Party Bozo. What?
Add a bank account using your debit card. Fuck.
Oh, okay.
Wait, is she DMing you?
Yeah, dude, and I'm reading. I'm so fucking confused half the time. I caught up though. Holy fuck, dude! I was gone.
Orca,
there.
if
oh,
you
it's End Manic
prefer-
that's also high. What up?
Or if you prefer, in the recording live VC, there is a chat, and I think I have TTS enabled. If you do /TTS,
Bo said test.
did you guys hear that?
I haven't heard anything.
Oh, but you might have to have the chat open to hear it. If you go, Rack, if you click on the recording live and open the chat for that VC.
All right, hold on, let me open Discord back again. But won't reply to me, so that's cute, but no soul will hear my vileness. What?
Their name's
The
Vile Orca.
fuck are you?
Vile Orca.
Oh my god, dude. I don't know if I'm too high or not high enough. What am I clicking on?
The VC, you can pull up a chat and then let me know when you have. Because I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna
Voice
test a TTS.
text.
You might
Voice
have to-
text chat.
No. The
Oh,
recording
no.
live. Just open that
Yeah.
chat in general. Also, Crute, I'll let him know in a
I
second.
did.
Oh, okay. This is stressful. Rack Karut has donated $10 to the Papagenos Fund.
What? Why are people doing that?
Because somebody asked if they could, and I said if they donated to me, I'd
Oh.
pass it along.
Thank you.
I got grabbed.
That actually means a shit ton. And here I am just fucking idling at spawn. Thank you.
Orca's now DMing me in Steam.
I hope they hold on. I hope you know, Orca, that I have closed Discord as of right now because I have to have the chat open if someone is fucking helping contribute to
Oh, I've
my
been saved?
payment plan for dinner.
By the random? Root said we do it because we love Rack.
Thank you.
So
Karoo.
I'm gonna need, bro. Can you set up a Venmo? You got Venmo?
You literally have my Cash App.
I don't have a debit card set up in Cash App.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't want Cash App to have my bank info.
But Venmo, which is much different.
Venmo, I have to because I use the Venmo credit card for gas, and so it has to be linked to a bank account. Cash App, I wasn't doing it because, like, I first had somebody send me money, and then that money just kind of went around. It's like crypto, you know? There's another 5 for the Rack Papagenos Fund. So you got 15 coming your way, plus the 5 I owe you from that bet. So you got 20 big ones.
Thank you. What the fuck? Why are people so nice?
Those are just my
I
people.
love you guys.
No, he does not. He's not your friend. Don't fall for it.
I am your friend. We are friends.
I know you personally by name. I know where you live. I'll be there
Who is this
soon.
Bo Bastion guy? Fuck that guy. It's not like
Hey,
we've been
I would
friends
fuck
since
that guy. You
childhood.
know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't.
I don't know if that feels good or bad.
We are friends. Smile. Yes. Bastion is my friend. Bastion is my friend as well.
The man that watches the raccoon stream deserves monies. Oh, it's because you watch that wildlife
Yeah.
stream.
Dude, I still pop in there all the time. You fuck that guy?
All Orca said back was real. She said, "Fight me." I said, "Okay, these hands are rated E for everyone," and she said, "Real." Maybe I should not have read what I said. Hey, are you guys good over there? Okay, well, Rack, you're definitely gonna get to second
Alright,
stage. So I'm just gonna finish up this gen anyway.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
thanks, boss.
Yeah, I got you. So if you set up a Venmo, I can send you that 20, you
I
know,
opened Discord
real quick.
and chat.
Why don't I just wire transfer? Why don't you tell me the last four of your social and give me your bank account number?
Why don't you literally drive to my house and give me a 20?
Because I am streaming. We are live.
I'm also doing that.
You're live?
On your... No, I'm just...
Okay, I was like, wait, I had no idea. That's okay. I would have... Oh, shit. Oh, those are my plaything bones. Wait. No way he leaves, right? Oh, wait, he leaves and I'm gonna finish this gen? Oh, I was reading chat. Don't worry, this gen getting done will save the game. Is that a D's tracker?
Is that a D's tracker? You're not Buttspot.
What about a D's tracker? Now I'm confused.
You even read your chat?
Hold on. Your friends. Sheesh. Real. Don't worry, this one. Is that a D? No, I'm confused. Is that a D's tracker? Is what a D's tracker, Karut?
No, wait, hold on. You're stupid.
Am I?
Yeah. Because End Manic said, is that an eye tracker? And then Karut is being Buttspot.
See, I don't... Yes. Okay, that makes sense. I don't see End Manix. Is that an eye tracker? That is not in my chat log. Unless it's really far back.
No, it's literally the...
Oh,
like,
I don't
D's
have
tracker
that
is
for
the
no
next
good reason.
one.
Yeah, I don't have that
That's
one.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm using Chatterino.
Nah.
So
It's
like it's
there.
not perfect. It's
Yeah, crew. It was literally the previous message. That's what I was looking at.
Oh, my bad, my bad, my bad.
That Kraby.
I'm dead, by the way. Like big dead. Like not coming back ever again.
I'm Rack. Let me see if I have a Venmo.
No way he leaves me. Oh no. I'm dead. Big dead.
Oh, you know
Oh,
what's
I'm not dead?
incredibly funny?
What's up?
You literally have my Venmo because I Venmo'd you $20 before.
Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted to hear.
So just give me my 20 back.
For real. Okay. Oh, he's slugging me. No, he's not. I lied. I'm a big fat liar.
Server profile picture. The Glarketer himself.
Okay.
Brandon Glizzy Hands, the White Larry Bird, Atrioc Ewing. That's Orca's server profile picture.
Okay, I sent it.
Thanks.
Orca said
You know what's
she
crazy
feels...
is...
Mhm.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say she feels much more vile going against her maid, like playing against a Wesker. Hey, is that Atrioc in the VC?
Hey, Brandon, what's going
Hey,
on?
whoa, Mr. Ewing.
Well,
Well, you see, I was... I don't know where to go from here. That's all I got.
chat, my fingers aren't glizzies.
It is a Tobii Eye Tracker, by the way. Tobii Eye Tracker 5.
They're not glizzies.
I don't know how synced up it is, to be honest. I didn't really put in the effort to sync it up. It's weird. You have to be live to sync it up, which is kind of frustrating. Guys, my hands are obviously not glizzies.
God, they're not glizzies. Guys, I just eat golden grams and quit high-paying jobs.
Okay, so...
Well,
Mr. Well... No one's gonna get these. It's just us
I'm
three.
glad I threw you against a few walls. Thanks. I think.
Hey, yo?
Hey.
What? I want to retell the story about you and I going to the mall, and we just got out of the car. I drove, and
Dude,
and we're walking across the parking lot, and I'm just going, and I'm like looking at Rack doing this, making like hand gestures and eyes and stuff.
To be clear, hands like he's honking some breasts.
Big personality,
in front of, like whole thing.
And we do this sometimes. We make these noise and these gestures, but it was just me in public doing this toward him, and people were looking at him like I was his child acting out, and they're like, "Bro, is he good? Can you stop him?" What's up, Princess Derpface? Just in time for story time. Howdy, yeehaw, yeehaw intensifies.
Yeah, she texted me, and so I texted her back. Oh, by the way, I'm
no
high
way.
as
You
fuck
texted
on
her
O's
back?
Stream.
That's crazy.
I only do it sometimes.
So what was the last?
Like
video?
9.
Like, whoa, that's more than one.
What? No. Don't tell me you didn't get the joke.
No, I didn't. I missed something.
I said I only text back sometimes, like 9.
Oh, like 9 Tarasu. Gotcha. Sheesh,
I don't know how many unanswered hellos I have.
Don't count. You're just gonna get more sad.
Dude, yeah. 9 hasn't answered a DM from me since September.
When will my husband return from war?
Fixed your Steam profile picture. Hold on. Vile Atrioc. And the fucking pictures.
She has too many pics ready. She's too prepared for this.
That's a bit that I've wanted to get on the bandwagon of. I just haven't.
What, just having profile
Feels
pics
like
ready?
Yeah, just
You
feels
gotta-
like effort.
You know what? Honestly, like in all seriousness, I've heard about like music production technique where rather than like just making effects presets and samples when you need them, you just sometimes have like brainstorming sessions where you sit down and you're like, I'm going to turn knobs and push buttons till I get an interesting sound. And then you can like name it what you want and save it for later. And so like you could definitely just sit down and be like, I'm going to make funny thumbnails and then make the joke later.
Yeah.
Like it's just going to be, I was prepared for this. You've activated my trap card.
I might sound like a fake fan, but you text me tonight was HTE night. What the fuck does that mean?
I cannot help you here.
I'm sorry.
Also, rip Princess Derpface's ears.
My brain is not present in my head. My dad is watching RoboCop, and the combat scenes are damn near definite. I literally... Oh, you literally just misspelled the word the. All right, cool.
That's what I was going to say, but honestly, I was hoping you would come to that conclusion without me having to tell you.
I'm a little stupid, okay?
My special boy.
I literally had to go downstairs to my setup because I was watching BoJack Horseman on my phone upstairs, and then my parents are like they're watching Ozark, and they're almost through the whole thing, but it's fucking blasting. Till I'm feeling the ground shake from our little fucking LG sound bar. I'm like, oh fuck,
sponsored.
man.
But it could be.
Yeah, our little
Other brands are available.
Specific stick of.
I think somebody DC'd. This doesn't seem to be loading. Like, I think this match is just gonna cancel, and we're gonna have to requeue.
Lim.
Did you get?
I have such a stupid idea, but it would be so funny. Dude, that's 90% of my ideas. Let it rip.
So did you get the funds and order the pizza?
I got the funds. I'm working on the food. I don't believe no other brands are available. You're right. It is.
You mean the pizza?
3022, and
Call it pizza.
Pizza. It is 3022, and LG has bought every other company. There are no other brands available. So that's the thing. Now I'm trying to decide if I get the pizza or if I get. Oh, never mind.
Chat decides.
'Cause
Marbles.
It let me. I'm down. Do you have?
I don't have marbles. So.
I have marbles.
Marbies.
I do have Marbies. They have the marbles. Anyway, Marbies. We have the Marbs.
Marbdees.
Anyways. Ooh, owned. No, I was looking at DoorDash again, and it was letting me order from Taco Bell until the very end, where it says not accepting orders.
Bro, that's when we were ordering from McDonald's until the very end. It goes, this location is closed. And we're like parked outside of it after a Post Malone concert. And we're like, it's like literally open. I am looking at it.
I'm here. Click the hyperlinks in my Steam bio when you get a minute. Bruh.
She has a Twitch link, Twitter, VTuber Twitter, Bird app.
Just fucking DM me the link. I'm sorry.
She did to your Steam profile. Her Steam profile. You know what I said?
No.
You heard me. Yo, have you seen the new Avatar yet?
No.
I actually cried. I really like it.
Okay, Eamon.
All right, man.
No, you can't be Eamon and Slime. You can't.
No, Eamon says that sometimes. He steals it from Slime.
He's
But he says it like that. He says it cringe.
Hey, at least you know you're cringe.
No, I'm imitating Aiden, who is cringe.
Yeah, man.
I woke up, Aiden's cringe. I don't know the rest of it. Yeah, Quinn, what's up? Rax, I think, reading my chat. What do you want to ask?
I am. Oh, hello, my friend.
I woke up,
why are
Rax
you
is
grabbing me?
cringe.
No.
Hello there.
I got you such a cool present.
Angel of my nightmare. Did you know that Rack is cringe tonight?
Bo is cringe. Something. Bo is cringe. It's supposed to be closing time. Anyway.
No,
Can I ask you a question for Rack? Let it rip.
Rip these.
Sponge boy me.
Yeah, Orca, I'm gonna check out your profile after stream. I noticed that the links are not TOS. Appreciate that. What's up? You come here often? Okay, she dead-hearted.
What do that mean?
So Dead Hard is a perk where you press E to die.
I can't order delivery from Papa Gino's because I don't have cash. And I can't not tip.
I mean, you could just not tip.
I don't know if I like.
Can you not DoorDash the
Does that make me a
Papagenos?
bad person?
Can you not pay online? That's crazy.
You can pay. You can pay online for Papagenos, but if you get delivery, you're supposed to tip.
Can you not ask your parents for cash?
They don't. They probably don't have any cash. I don't know why they would have cash.
Ask. You could Venmo them a tip. Just say get there and be like, hey man, this is really awkward. I don't have cash to tip you. Do you got Cash App or Venmo? And then you give them a fat tip for being... Whoa!
The real homie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can justify a
That was
fat
actually
tip
crazy.
for being the real
dodge I just
homie
had.
if I had to fucking crowdfund my dinner.
No, that's the point, is we crowdfunded, so you don't have to worry about the money part. We had that handled. That's the point, is we... That 50... You have to spend that $15 on the food.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, no question.
Or maybe it's $15 for the tip. Maybe it's a $15 tip. I'm dead. Zah. Just a tip to see how it feels. Karut.
It is crazy to come into chat, say, Bo, can I ask you a question for Rack? And then not ask the
she's
question.
driving.
Okay.
She's driving,
Okay.
I think, so...
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, because she's at work.
Oh, dude, I remember the days sitting on the fucking
Shit.
forklift with you, with your stream on.
With
when I was
me
working
on
overnight.
the stream. No, sorry, hold on. Me on the forklift. Because I'm built different.
Sure thing, son. Rack, can I ask you a question for Bo? Yeah, go ahead. Damn, that's crazy. Well, I died.
Wait, no one's saved you?
No.
I'm not gonna lie, I zoned out and I was getting healed and I didn't know. That's crazy that hit me.
Oh, links in your Steam bio? I don't know if I'm even friends with you on Steam.
You don't have to be if it's a public profile. Oh, what? Hello? Did I rubber band? That's not I rubber banded! So hard! Chat, that wasn't just me, right? I feel like I rubber banded crazy hard. Oh, my hero. Oh my gosh, this David's the real one. Rack, you should go ask your parents if they have cash, if you haven't already. Like, now's a good time. If you're gonna do that.
I'm trying to figure out what fucking link they're talking about.
In their... scroll up in my chat, and they linked their Steam profile, and in that, there are links to a Twitter, a VTuber Twitter, and a Twitch channel.
Oh, I was looking at the gamer subs. That makes sense. Okay, so
I'm trying to find a med kit, because I'm going to have to heal up and save this David.
Oh, I get the joke now.
Was it she said Brandon is dying? Because that's what she messaged me, and I'm confused.
No, okay. So, because she said, I have such a stupid idea, but it would be funny. And I said, like, what is it? And she didn't say anything except for go to the hyperlinks in my Steam bio when you get a minute. And then I go and I click on the links. The stream one is a link to Atriox Twitch. The VTuber Twitter is Ludwig. My Twitter is Slime. So, like, okay. I get it.
I
was
found
like,
the
what?
bit. Shit, that's not the tab I wanted.
What can I get?
Quinn said she had a meeting, but she DM'd me. I can't believe I played
I'm
myself.
sorry.
I didn't know that door was open.
Meetings are lame.
I thought that door was closed and this one was open. I was gonna vault the window. I was gonna fake vault the window. I have disappointed the family. I feel bad for this David. This David died first time.
VTuber stream. Oh yeah. I guess I just kind of forgot that he was supposed to do that. You know what is incredibly fitting that I'm doing?
Pulling your pud. Please say no.
Hold on.
Mr. Lee, let's go.
Oh, dude, I swallowed fucking saliva because I thought I started laughing because that was funny.
Yeah, I'm funny. When they think Bo, they think that guy's comedy.
It went down the wrong fucking.
You know, I hear that one a lot.
That was weird. That didn't have to be weird.
I woke up racking screaming.
Bro,
That's
you're
my
not
icebreaker.
Ludwig. Stop it.
That's, you know, I'm coming up for air. So how about that? Papagenos.
Why is it not letting me sign into my fucking bank account?
Hey, well, if you tell me the login info, I can try it for you. Maybe it's your computer.
Those three cute little numbers on the back.
Yeah. Kids, go find that little plastic rectangle that your parents hide in their wallet, and give me a picture of the front and those cute three little numbers on the back.
It'll make you my best friend.
Yeah, we're friends, right? And friends give each other gifts. And what I want is that little...
gifts. I want your family's life savings. I don't even know what Papagenos is. Well, it's
That's
an inside
crazy.
joke, but it is crazy if you're just saying like you don't know what the actual dining establishment Papagenos is.
I think this is what the kids call a gaslight.
Mm.
So I'll...
Skull Trooper
you-
is stuck in Tilted Towers and need your parents' credit card info to get out. Oh no!
Oh no!
Crazy how these things happen.
Oh,
to
send the
me.
link. Send the link. Where do I do it? How do I? Give it to me.
I ordered wings.
I respect that. That's a, you know, big respect.
Big. You
We're bad people.
can't do
We're
that.
bad people.
It's racist when you do it.
It's racist when I do it. Hashtag Rack Brown confirmed.
You can't say that either. That also. Well,
It's just a joke.
just a little jokey wokey.
Didn't mean nothing by it. You know, kids these days.
Because I'm old. Anyway, how many blood points do you have?
279,000. Make sure you don't get close to 1 million because you'll stop. That's like the cap. You'll stop earning more. You should definitely spend them.
You want to know something very funny about you saying that?
How many you got?
1.2 million.
Oh, you're not earning any more. It's 2 million now? Oh, sheesh. There is the cap. The only way to go over it used to be like completing archives. I sent the rectangle. What's in general, Karut? I found the plastic card. It's a Jimmy John's gift card. Thanks.
Wait, did you get that question from Corella to Quinn?
Yeah, I answered it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, there's a question for me.
Okay, she was just asking. Well, I'm gonna rephrase. She was asking she was clarifying what RAC stood for, and I told her raccoon.
Oh. It also means
like
a really
Prince?
awesome content creator, but also raccoons, yeah.
Does it stand for that? When did you...
I teach improv, Bo. You know this.
What's that?
You just say, what's that?
No?
I'm so confused.
No, you're RAC.
Fuck. I'm such an awesome content creator.
No, it's really awesome content creator.
Fuck,
You
I'm a
would
horrible
know that if you
marketer.
were really him. Sus.
Oh, this whole time. It's been.
I
not
think
me.
RAC was the friends we made along the way.
That just means I'm all of your good memories, and I will take that.
Oh, it's an Onryo, by the way. So it's like Sadako from the Ring franchise. She teleports the TVs, so keep an eye on the TVs.
Yeah, she just spanked my back a little bit, a little grabby grab.
Little.
Now, don't do that. You're kind of a bitch for that. That's a little rude. You're
Wait,
lame, and I'm gonna wiggle.
Orca, who was real for what? What? I missed like 5 things. Friends you make along the way. He was real for that. Yeah. No, for real. I am being chased by small child.
Rack.
I'm dead. No, I'm not.
I woke
She
up.
has no idea. Just kidding. She has big idea. I can't believe that worked. I don't think I'm gonna make it much farther though. There's no pallet here. Oh my god, I'm gonna make this vault. Oh my god, no way. That's crazy. I'm crazy. She left me. Sheesh.
Sheesh, man.
Sheesh, man. The power of the Z-Wall. Prage. The power of the Z-Wall protects me. So,
Oh,
Rack,
fug.
you see on the left how you have your icon and you're injured, and now you have 2 little check marks around the circle?
Yeah.
To get rid of those, you have to go to a TV and take out the tape recorder and then put it in the TV that you see across the map. Like there's an aura that will appear. And if it fills out, she can just end you on the spot. So that's why you don't want it to fill up. Okay, bye Karut. See you soon. I'm mad. tapping out to read Orca's messages.
I just realized this is Brandon Glizzy A.
Oh. Are the hands glizzies or are the glizzies hands? That's what I've always wondered.
I don't think it is, and I feel like you're being dishonest with me. Oh, that's cool that you tapped me on my balls.
Oh, wait, where are you? I need a cover for you. She really wants you.
Yeah, she's cool and fun at parties and such.
I don't know why this Meg is... Okay. This is not worth it, gamers. Please don't also get down.
Healing with a med kit right now.
Proud of you.
Thank you, smiley face. Oh, she's coming right for us.
Can you grab me?
Yeah, I'm working
Uppies. Uppy bears.
on it. Uppies.
Okay, bye, I guess. You need to do the tape thing I was talking about.
I'm trying to find the TV to put it in.
I was just making sure that was your mission. Soldier. I'm getting Brandon Glizzy Patreon.
Is it the thing outlined in white?
What do you mean?
There's a thing outlined in white. Hold on,
Did you grab a tape?
Yeah.
Because then, yes, you should have heard a sound, and you'll now see a white TV across the map.
Yeah.
You have to go to that TV.
I did it.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
Didn't cool.
Let me pat your belly.
I did it. 9. I was working.
Rack needs to get rid of his tape. No, he did it. Next time. He was close. Oh no.
Always close.
I don't think that's a good thing. That sounds uncomfortable.
I'm talking to doctors about it.
What if you talk to me about it?
Anyway, how's the kids?
Yeah, man.
Cool, thanks.
Oh, 07 for Rack in the chat. Yummers.
Damn, she kind of got fucking owned with the Wiggles though, so that's cool. Who doesn't love getting owned by the Wiggles?
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, that's the... Yeah.
No, it's the... Yeah, no, I'm helping. I'm securing the joke.
Yep. Thanks, Bo.
I got you, man. I wouldn't want chat to think you're not funny, so...
Yeah.
So you
Really
come here often.
riveting stuff here.
Well, you could, commentate, Mr. Radio Voice Man.
Well, the wing place is preparing my order.
You mean Papagenos?
Yeah.
Or did you not end up with Papagenos?
Yep.
Where? Okay. Don't answer that.
DoorDash. Wow, that's...
I don't know what this Leon is doing. Hello? Oh, it's... He's probably typing. She was typing to you, wasn't she?
No, I haven't gotten anything since I got a big fat whale. Damn, owned by the pallet.
Megward? Why are we all here?
Yeah, I always think about fruit salad when I think of the Wiggles 9. Not alone.
I try not to think about it. I'm actually a little upset you brought it up.
Who asked?
My stream, my rules.
You weren't setting a rule. Woke up, is cringe. Woke up, is cringe.
Okay. I don't know if we have to say that.
Well, we could though.
This is a riveting match. Yeah, this is really.
Lots of
You know it's going.
stuff and
Thanks.
things also. Cool things happening.
Very boggers.
So what's new with Bo? Give us some schmonten.
Yeah, nothing, man. I'm just head empty right now. Just playing video game, chatting with my bud. Yeah.
I'm the one who was chatting with Bud, and that's how I ended up here.
You're cheating on me with bud?
If you mean I can't make that joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just yes and you instead.
What's the and?
Uh-huh.
What's the and?
What? Chad,
So-
he's being weird, right? That's weird.
So I've just been doing more like Linux shenanigans behind the scenes. And I was thinking about if I'm going to travel internationally a lot, how could I realistically stream? And my original idea was because flying with a gaming PC takes a lot of space. And then I also need a monitor and keyboard, mouse, etc., etc.
Yeah, like a travel setup.
Yeah, which like I could do a portable monitor, like a smaller 16-inch monitor, whatever. So my other idea was laptop just for OBS and Discord, and then I remote into a gaming PC, and I would like pay for this remote gaming PC through a service like Shadow. But the problem is remote gaming latency, especially if I move to like between countries, the latency might get better or worse. And it's very internet dependent. So new idea, I build a mini gaming PC, a new mini one, and then also have a laptop, and I just remote into the gaming PC on my local network. That's the idea, whole idea. So it's like
Cool.
dual PC streaming, but instead of capture card, I just remote desktop. The NZXT makes this really cool case called the H1 that kind of looks like an Xbox Series X. It's like that'd be a cool case to build in. But yeah, I've just been doing a lot of like stuff lately, man. Like you said in the chat at the start of stream, I do need to get on YouTube, especially shorts. I want to like take... Well, first of all, I want to make more clips. Thanks for the dead hard orca. I want to make more clips, and then I want to put those clips on Hover and YouTube Shorts. And then I also need to make some big boy videos. But I think shorts are the like a good place to start. Because, you know, it's only like 60 seconds at most.
Yeah, but you also I don't know. I feel like you want to have a solid.
Foundation. I mean, maybe streaming's that foundation for now, at least.
I don't know. I feel like a solid log of like at least medium length content.
I mean, I have the highlight videos I could just make live, and that's better than nothing. But
I don't know if it is.
I legitimately think it is, because it's like a quick preview of like sort of stuff from my channel. Maybe not.
Yeah,
Maybe you're right.
Like your CTR is going to be through the, not even through. Well, I don't know. I feel like your engagement would be hella fucking low, because respectfully, nobody's gonna just watch a highlight video with some music behind it.
Yeah,
That's
but
not,
maybe I
like,
should pick a good
edited.
one as like a channel trailer, at least for now.
Yeah.
Or I mean, I could always do just most popular video as the or latest video to new subs. But I guess like returning subs, I'd want to show them the newest video, and then unsubbed people who visit, I'd want it to be the most popular.
Yeah.
If
I
not a
don't know
channel
if you
trailer.
can
I believe you can set that.
customize that.
Yeah, I know for a fact you can set like the featured video for new subscribers or returning subscribers, like unsubscribed people or subscribed people.
I've never heard of that. That's interesting.
There's no way this works.
That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's why they call me the GOAT. Honestly, I
don't
want her to close the
Oh,
hatch,
you do that.
and then I have Wake Up and Soul Survivor to really quickly open the gate. But I need to find a gate first. Honestly, I want to take not the tape from that TV, the tape from the TV nearest to a gate, so she can't just teleport to it. Like, that's not a bad one. Oh, she found me? That's actually crazy. I could still find Hatch. She hasn't found it yet. I don't make this. I might. Yeah, I make this pallet. But I'm gonna be in a really bad spot. I would love more frames. She went this way, so Hatch might be in that corner to my left. Oh, I got stuck, but it worked in my favor.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. Hatch might actually be in this corner. I didn't think that would work. I just gotta keep playing around this pallet until she decides to break it. I'm gonna vault this time. And then she's counter-rotating. I could have vaulted there. She's gonna expect me to vault here. Yep. She didn't break it. This is stressful, and I'm out of things to use.
I was gonna say, is this
I
not
actually don't know where the
incredibly
hatch
fucking
is.
stressful?
Honestly, it's not as bad as you'd expect. I'm dead. Yeah. I could have fast vaulted that. I have no idea where hatch is. I feel like I went across the map. She doesn't have no, she might have Rancor. Do you want me to crawl? I'm confused. What's up? Where's Hatch? You wanna... Am I following you? I'm not gonna follow you. I'm just gonna recover, but thanks. I don't know if she's stream sniping, so maybe I shouldn't say this, but if she closes hatch, I have adrenaline, so I'll get back up, and I at least get another chance to open a gate. And I have hope, so I'll also... She's probably gonna find me in here. I mean, there's blood right there, and there's scratch marks to it. This is really bad. The exit gates are actually really close. I can open them super quickly with
So why didn't you do that?
because I knew she was gonna beeline to where I was. She's probably gonna find me in here. That's crazy. She knows I'm here. Yeah, she's right there. Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, and the Noid. Fair enough. Honestly, I was kind of already dead. She could have picked me up earlier and hooked me, but she decided to go close the hatch. Is she struggling to pick me up? Am I like glitched at the gate? Okay. Oh, there you go. Controller brokey, I guess. Honestly, that was a fun match, though. It was slow, but I had fun. That was a really good chase at the end. Thanks. You too. Thanks. Midwich. Wait, sandwich. Does that say sandwich? Welcome. Something sandwich rice 429. Nice.
I don't see what you're talking about.
Oh, on the sign behind where I died.
Oh.
Fuck. This person's name is just Yi. Oh my god, and their picture is just a dinosaur. Good one, good one.
Who? What are you do talk about?
The killer.
Oh.
What's your food update?
Dasher is waiting for my order.
Okay, we'll definitely keep playing. Once your food gets close, I'm probably gonna wrap things up and let you go so you can eat, and I can also get a snacky little snack.
I did not hear you. I'm sorry. What
I said when your food
you?
is close, I'm gonna wrap up so you can eat and I can get a snack.
Okay.
There you go. Mr. Well, I watch the yard.
Well.
Racky got it ready up though.
Oh, I was doing the blood.
I'll show you blood.
Was Bracken blood? You a little too white for that one?
No, you are. If I am, then you are by definition. Better than me, boy.
Am I?
Yes, 100%. Are you kidding me? Wilson picks. Heat picks. No, not that noise. Anything but that noise. Maybe not
Only
anything.
that noise.
Are you spending your blood points, by the way?
Yep. That's what I was doing. Why I hadn't readied up.
Oh, you can do both.
Yeah, then I readied up. And you said,
Once you get build a prestige 3, I would recommend moving on to another survivor. So right now you have him at prestige 1. You have to get to level 50 to prestige. I didn't know if you remembered that.
I did not, but I'm
Okay,
at level 48 right now.
That's good. Yeah, so you can probably get to prestige 2 at least, and then a few levels in. Because if you get to prestige 3, you'll have his 3 perks on every survivor. So you can just move to another survivor, or you can keep playing Bill. But the point is, you want to start, once you get him to Prestige 3, start dumping points in another survivor so you can get their perks on everyone. And that way you can get everything.
Okay, I just got a DM from Orca saying Prestige 1 everyone, and then Prestige 100 a survivor main.
No, you want to... Honestly, I would say Prestige 3 everyone, because that's going to be cheaper in the long run. Because if you Prestige 1, it means that you... all your other survivors get the tier 1 version of that perk. Whereas if you Prestige 3, it means all the survivors have tier 3, which is the max tier of that perk. And so in the long run, that's going to save you blood points instead of having to get it from tiers 1 to 3 times for every survivor. Or I guess it wouldn't be every survivor. I guess it could just be one. That's fair too. I mean,
She said, I refuse to agree.
that's okay. We can play the game differently.
Yep.
I'm not sitting in your Amazon Basics gaming chair. It's my Amazon Basics gaming chair.
Who's the
And-
P38? I don't know.
Oh, the anxious. I don't know.
It's like I don't fucking. Then it's me, Rec. On the third.
The-
I didn't. I don't know you.
We keep getting lobby dodged, by the way, by the killer. That's why the timer keeps resetting. The killers just keep going,
I'm
nah.
I'm at Blood Web level 50. Why did I not presteg?
You have to hold on the prestige and pay more blood points.
Oh, so I need to fit. Okay. hold
Yeah, you need to get to level 50 and then prestige.
What do you mean you don't know me? It's literally my survival. No, I mean, I literally did not know you until like 20 minutes ago.
I'll show you 20 minutes.
How am I vile? I'm just intoxicated. You're vile. I like you. Thanks.
There you go. She likes you, bro.
Didn't even say you. Said yoy.
Yoy.
You're vile. I like yoy.
Yoy. Makes me think of Joshy.
Goshay. I like yoy.
Well. She DM'd me a whale.
You know what, Lil Bear? I'm not a little bear. I'm a big bear.
He's a sleepy bear, hungry bears.
Dude, I'm a very hungry bear right now. Oh, so
Ooh,
the big
Quinn,
bad
I
bear.
don't
I'm
know.
a big bad bear, baby.
I think I could.
After tonight, I'm off till Monday.
She's talking to me about. I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm
rank up a
just
lot in this game.
reading.
Well, it wasn't for you.
Well,
I read it anyway.
you know what? I'm putting this pallet down just as punishment.
Oh, please don't. Please.
I already did.
He did order his food. He got some wings. His
I'm waiting on
Papagenos. He had a
my
dilemma with
wing.
not having cash for a tip for Papagenos.
Damn, why I can't do generator?
But Quinn,
why they
I'm
hugging?
down. I think I'm down tomorrow night off. Oh, she. Oh, man. Why me?
Because you're you. Idiot. Dumb, stupid idiot.
Quinn, I was gonna say maybe I can do tomorrow off stream. I definitely can't play Friday night, and probably not Saturday night, but maybe Sunday.
Damn, you're annoying.
The Legion, yeah. Legion's an annoying killer to go against, like Doctor. So, Rack, the way the power works, they go in that frenzy, they can vault pallets and windows. I just got dabbed on so hard by Orca. Yeah, they can vault pallets and windows, sorry. And if they hit you, you get in this deep wound state and you have to mend. And if they deep wound all 4 of us, the next person they hit gets insta-downed.
Crazy.
I don't think that should have hit me.
Oh my god. Thank you. Holy shit. She was like tapping, healing me.
That used to be a strat where you wouldn't get skill checks if you tapped. I think.
No, but it was like not in a way that was efficient. Like
Windows and pallets. My bad, Quinn.
this was like, oh, I'm touching you now. Oh, now I'm not. And it
Used
wouldn't
to be
heal for
iced
any amount
up,
of time.
she says. No idea. Has no idea I'm here.
Oh fuck.
We don't have any gens done, and I'm sad about it.
Fucking working on it, Bosov.
Whoa, don't full name me like that.
Like when your fucking parents are like.
Oh, she has the add-on where if she vaults a pallet, it breaks. So just know that if she's in the frenzy, which it means like you'll know she's in the frenzy because she'll be underhand running with a knife and breathing heavy, as opposed to like an overhand carry of the knife. But yeah, just know that if you drop a pallet and it doesn't stun her... Oh, stunning her will get her out of the power, by the way. If you don't stun her, though, she'll just vault the pallet and it will break. We got breakers.
Dude,
Dude,
I keep fucking up this fucking generator.
be better.
Oh, shit, you're right.
I'm not convinced that should have hit me, but I won't cry about it.
It sounds like you're crying about it.
I'm not. Why would you even think that?
Feel like you are.
I feel you.
You can come over and feel me if you'd like.
Feel these.
That made him uncomfortable because I'm a little bit gay.
It's, it didn't make you uncomfortable, but you are a little bit gay. These are not mutually exclusive.
Hey, Bo.
No.
Be proud of me.
Hey, yo. That's my fucking boy.
I myself.
This is awkward. 1v1 me couchy.
My job to make Bosef uncomfortable. It's my job to make Bosef. Okay, I get it now. I read it with the wrong inflection.
I don't actually think it's easy to make me uncomfortable.
I think it's incredibly easy to make you uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah, but that's because I have insider knowledge. And
Oh.
we're probably also operating off of different understandings of the word uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, like... Well, I'm dead, by the way.
Do you mean like socially uncomfortable?
No, that's possible. I meant, like, sexually uncomfortable.
I was talking about just generally physically uncomfortable.
Oh. You're gonna sit on me.
Because I don't know why there would be any sexual connotations to someone saying
This is the man who
their
just
job to
went,
make
he's
you
uncomfortable because I'm a little gay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I woke up, Rack was gay.
I was gay before you went to sleep too. No, because I just know like wrist.
Oh, yeah. I have the opposite of a wrist fetish. They actually make me very
Fucking hates them.
No, it's not
They
quite
make
like
him
that either.
insanely angry, actually.
No, I'm just like a bit...
You have to
homophobic.
wear long sleeves around him or he like freaks the fuck
Yeah.
out.
Can't.
It takes a fucking toll on his relationships. I'll tell you that much.
It'll be fucking 92 in the summer. Balmy. Are you good?
No, I'm rack. Oh, the game's going.
Oh, because it says for me... Oh, I'm back. It says for me that I and the Legion DC'd, but it's probably because I did.
It says for me that you DC'd.
That's crazy. I would never. DC, more like D's nuts.
Oh, that's lame that you would just come for me. You're a loser. I'm not gonna run away from you. I'm just gonna wiggle. Like a wiggly
Alright,
little
well, I'm
guy.
gonna vibe with chat because I can't spectate you guys.
Yeah.
Let me flick my wrist while I perhaps seductively show my wrist stats. No, it's not a symbol. To elaborate what Rack was talking about, I have this thing like watching TV and movies where I get physically uncomfortable, like kind of like not necessarily queasy, not nauseous, but just like even borderline fainting with well, self-harm of any type is kind of a trigger, but then another is just like wrists and necks being cut, which is weird because I've watched The Walking Dead and I've seen people get like eaten and even like bitten in the neck. That's fine, but the scene where the guy gets like decapitated with a katana, not even decapitation is fine. It's the more like knife to the throat scenes. Well, I'm trying to think. Yesterday seeing Avatar 2, there was a point where knife to the throat, and that was okay. I don't know. I think it's getting better, maybe. But,
Mokopo is cringe.
okay, I was cringe before you went.
See, I get it. It's funny, man.
I get you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I saw Cruella
Quinn.
saying that Quinn.
Yeah, you can call her Cruella as well. I just call her Quinn.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never met her.
You can call her Crew. Call her Ella. Call her
Ella,
Ella. A. Under my umbrella. Ella.
So, the fuck were we talking about? Like
Wrist tattoos. She was sharing her wrist tattoo.
Yeah. I have one wrist. I have one on my wrist. Okay, that makes more sense. I have one wrist. One on my wrist, and it wraps around.
My Jesus
and
did.
then up my hand.
Rack, stop reading out loud.
That's hype. No.
Yeah, so Rack and I got a few tattoos together. He's already had a bunch. Had a few. And I think if I got tattooed on the wrist, I would legitimately get very uncomfortable and not be able to finish it. Because even like in high school, I had Pongu, like Pongu and I went to high school together. She drew in pen on my wrist, and it like I was okay with that. I was like, yeah, you can like write, draw, whatever. And I suddenly looking at it got very uncomfortable. And again, like felt like I was gonna faint. And even like I wiped it off, cleaned it off, and still like I had that. It almost, I don't want to say it felt like the ink went into my skin, but like if that happened, imagine how you would feel because of that. And that's how I was feeling. I didn't actually believe it went through my skin, but I was feeling like I would imagine I would feel if that. Yeah.
That's crazy though, because then there's me who has technically 3.
Yeah.
And
around the nipple and armpit. Karut has a nipple tat? Hey, yo. Drop pics and... We're bad people.
Hey, you're the one who said drop pics. To be clear.
I think if you went skydiving, you'd skydive. I would no. I also don't like heights. I would
I'm gonna
actually.
spend 7 minutes in the restroom, said Orca. That's crazy to be that specific.
No, you gotta. It's like Hassan with the timer for when he, you know.
That's
You gotta pace.
also lame. Pectat.
Yeah, that's cute, Quinn. Yeah, okay. I've seen the top side before. That like the ivy that goes up your finger. You definitely have shared that before. But I had not seen the wrist.
Quinn, are we friends on Discord? I don't know if we are. 15 tattoos at this point. How many do I have?
Don't forget the boo.
I'm at 10. No, we aren't. You should add me.
I'm not ready for this level of commitment. Owned. Common
You don't
rack
need
L.
to add me then. What do you mean common rack L?
You heard me.
What do you...
Cause I'm just a kid.
This guy's fun.
Yes,
This
sir.
guy's fun at parties.
You wouldn't know. You've never invited me to a party.
Just self-reported. That's...
No, I'm saying that it's not my fault and you haven't seen me at parties. You have not invited me to a party. That's
Oh, I'm sorry.
not my
All those
fault.
parties that you invite me to.
Yeah, but see, that's different. That's me. That's you not knowing
Literally
what I'm like at parties
not
because I didn't invite you. And that part you can't control, but you can't control inviting me, which you haven't. And that's why I don't invite you. Truth is served. Bo has my disc. Is this a JoJo's reference? I'm confused. Orca. You can
Oh,
control
shit, I
watching the
wasn't
yard. Based Orca moment.
Dude, I just wasn't paying attention for 2 whole fucking
Yeah,
skill checks.
that makes sense. All right, send in the snowman.
Yep.
We're on our way. Get in a snowman rack and we'll
I'm in a snowman.
There's no way he didn't see it. He actually didn't see us. That's crazy. Crazy how he actually didn't notice. This person might get to second stage because we're so slow in the snowman, but I honestly don't care. Better.
Oh, fuck. Hold on.
Snowmen,
They're approaching
then.
my home with my wings. I will be back.
Oh, that I can't believe he whiffed that. That's actually crazy. He whiffed that. Also, Rack literally throwing. Oh, has my disc. You have my Discord for Rack. Oh, I have. Yes, I can. Aren't you also in my server? He could just find you in Discord. He has no idea. He has no idea. He has no idea. No, no one time for the one time. Okay, he just kicked me out. Let me, please. Okay, never mind, I guess. Oh, you sent the, what did you drop it, General? Oh, you have a challenge. Okay, Orca. Oh, 1%. I got you. Oh. Thanks. Oh, and the med... Yeah, I'll take this. You want my toolbox? Brown for brown? Orca, how could you done this? Or... No way this works. There's Orca. I can't believe that. You're actually crazy. This is actually crazy. There's no way. Dude, I have a challenge to get hit while in a snowman. Why can't that just happen? Rack is AFK. I've not been hooked yet. This is fine. I hope he leaves Rack alone. I'm gonna go heal Rack in basement. Chat, this is gonna be last match, by the way, because Rack has his food and I want to go eat.
I have my food.
Yeah, you're AFK in the basement. I need you to put down the food.
Oh yeah, I
Finish
did,
this
yeah.
match strong. Let's go, bud. I need you to come upstairs and heal me.
There's no stairs over there.
Yeah,
I didn't know where I was.
Follow me. Left. Go up here. Heal me up here. Heal me here. He's below us. I'll let you know if he comes upstairs. So far, so good. What kind of wings did you get? Karut's asking.
Just normal wing with.
So buffalo?
These no, not buffalo. It's like a sweet honey barbecue type.
So what do you mean by normal wings? So you mean not boneless? You're saying bone in?
Yeah.
Because boneless wings don't exist. They're just chicken tendies.
No.
They kind of are, though. You know, if you really think about it.
No.
I know your small raccoon brain
Nope.
can't understand high-level human concepts like this.
Untrue. Just wrong. I also got some onion rings.
There's no way this works. There's no way this works. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way this works. There's no way the snowman works. Come on, bro. I need him to hit me. No. What are you? Why is she? She's hiding in me in the snowman. No, he's literally not gonna. Let's go. That worked. Okay, Broski, I'm out of here. Please. How you doing, Rack? On gen?
Yeah, I'm on a gen. I'm
Brr.
like maybe a little bit over halfway.
Did the snowman really just be spawning in the corner facing the wall? Did you just finish that gen?
No.
Okay. Hopefully this person can heal me. Dude, my frames. I gotta figure out why I got no frames. Oh, can you guys heal me? Please heal me, right? Oh, thank you.
I got you. The killer's over here, though.
That's okay. You can leave fast. Oh, I saw him in the corner, yeah. Yo, what the fuck is a tomatillo?
What?
What the fuck is a tomatillo?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
Unless you're saying it wrong.
No, a tomatillo, it's like a type of Hispanic food. I think Mexican, maybe?
Maybe.
Little tomatillos, maybe they're peppers? Oh wait,
Are you
Orca,
sure
you've
you're
been
not
running
trying
him
to say
this...
Tapatio?
Maybe.
Tapatio is a sauce. It's a hot sauce.
No, it's not. That's definitely not what I mean. Oh. Oh, no, not Brandon. Lizzie down. Scammed.
The Glizzard. Activision Glizzard.
I'm reading her messages. I was saying, okay, I'm suing. There's no way he misses me here, right?
The sauce is what I was asking about. Fair enough.
Honey BBQ.
Also, yeah, you have Quinn's Discord for me, is what. it
You could
looks like.
also add
Oops.
Quinn from my Discord because she's in there.
Yeah, if I know who.
Tomatillo's in the tomato family. Let's go. Karut with the facts. The Tomatillo. Physalis Philadelphia. Physalis ixocorpa, also known as the Mexican husk tomato, is a plant of the nightshade family bearing small, spherical, and green or green-purple fruit of the same name. Tomatillos originated in Mexico and were cultivated in the pre-Columbian era. A staple of Mexican cuisine, they are eaten raw and cooked in a variety of dishes, particularly salsa verde.
Ooh.
The more you know.
E.
Goodbye, Blight. I think he's going to the hook.
I also wasn't thinking T-O, like T-I-L-L-O.
Oh, yeah, I got you. In my...
Because that's also used as a suffix, but it also, like, the best way I can explain it is, like, it is... I hear it a lot because I work with a couple Puerto Rican people, and one of them are a nephew and uncle. And
That's two of them,
T.O.
but okay.
is uncle. Yeah, that's only two of the people.
No, but you said one of them is Puerto Rican, but you meant two, I thought.
No, there's two. I work with a few
Right.
Puerto Rican people.
Right.
Two of them are a nephew and an uncle.
Right. I'm with you, I understand. I think you misspoke. It does not matter.
I don't think I did.
And it doesn't matter.
Chicken tendies nuts. Also, I have chicken tendies for lunch. Oh. Damn, I just kind of be running around, huh?
Bro, are you really just running? Is he chasing you? The Dwight is urban evading.
It don't
over to
look
me.
like it. I just been looking for a gen.
What do you mean I was close? What? We're Rack, we're close to escaping this. You're dead on
Yeah,
hook.
I've been trying to find a fucking
Jen, there's one in the main building.
gen. Oh, he's on me though.
I'm following. You might be dead then. I'm following the. Oh, yeah. This gen was close. Sorry, Rack. It's game over, man.
No, that's Gucci.
But at least you can start macking on some wangs.
It's Wang time.
At least he doesn't have no ed. Dude, wait. This is goated. I can actually open this gate really quick. I just gotta help the Dwight get out. Actually, I'm gonna prep this gate and prep the other gate. And then at that point, I'll have to save the Dwight, assumedly. Okay, that one's 99. I'm gonna go prep the other gate. Oh yeah, you can add Quinn now since you're dead. Unless you're already macking on the wings and you're all sauced up.
I'm looking for them.
She,
I don't see who.
I can send it worst case scenario. But
Yeah.
like in the end, like you've been saying. I was pretty sure she was in there. It's Cruella.
Well, she might be. I literally don't know what I'm looking for.
Cruella de Quinn. Dwight, save yourself.
Probably
Wait,
is a
save
different
yourself.
name in the server.
Oh, I might be dead now. No way he lets me go. Oh my god. Wow, okay. I didn't think he had no-head because I thought he hit the Dwight after the gen was done. That's crazy. I thought it was confirmed no-head. Alright, this Dwight is just memeing. Okay, Rack, Orca, I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm gonna wrap up stream. But thanks for the games, and I'll see you again soon, okay?
We'll see ya.
Bye, guys. Chat, please say goodnight to Rack. He streams, by the way. He streams Raft and Hitman speedruns, if you're into those sorts of things. Please go encourage him to stream more. We'll see if he has a good clip. And then also, thanks to Orca. Wait, Orca, do you have any clips on your... No, you don't actually have a Twitch. That was a joke on your Steam profile that linked to Atrioc. I'm gonna do this anyway. We'll see. Do you have any clips? Oh, you do?
Did he slug you? Yep.
Oh, it's DVD as well. Clean? Clean Sabo? Wow, that's... Is that old?
That's okay.
That is... Yeah, that's a very old gameplay. It's the old HUD. Nice, dude. You weren't kidding about playing for the last 5 years. Anyway.
Oh, but he was saying...
Yada yada
I
yada.
forgot about that.
Taking too long. I know. Let me just grab this. Chat, is there anyone in particular we want to raid tonight? To spread some love? Preferably somebody playing DVD. Mention just chatting. Cost Kronos plays a lot of DVD, but Boomer. I don't really want to raid somebody who's like a lot bigger than me. I mean, Trisha's nice. Trisha's somebody I met a long time ago, just, you know, playing randoms. Yeah, why don't we raid Trisha? I'm gonna bring DVD back real quick. Wildlife cam. Okay, we can do the wildlife cam because that's very chill. That's fine, Rack. I haven't done that in a long time. So, let me just copy this. Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry. Wildlife cam bog. Very boggers. Bam, bam, bam. I just want to set the raid before that was on. Oh, I forgot you don't do the @, you just do the username. Oh, they do not allow me to raid at this time. I wonder it's because if my channel is labeled mature, but I literally can't raid them. So I am going to raid Trisha after all. So, guys, I just want to say to everyone, as always, thank you for tuning in, whether it was for a few minutes or the whole time. Even if you sent just one message, I always appreciate that. Kind of lets me know that people enjoy what I'm doing. And I'm always happy to kind of put good vibes out in the world. I know, Crude. I'm sorry that we can't do wildlife cam. I know you're disappointed. But I'll be live again maybe tomorrow night. Otherwise, Sunday night. Like I said, more DVD. I'm trying to get to Eerie 1 on Survivor. I'm only at Bronze 1. So I don't think that's going to happen this month, but we'll see. Other goals like Derpface. But yeah, guys, thanks again for being here. See you again soon.